right, let's get into this, shall we? Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Andrew Kirchhoff, and welcome to our Week 11 Sunday morning live stream. Over the course of the next 2 hours plus here, we're, of course, going to be answering all fantasy football-related questions that I possibly can. Of course, the entire purpose is to help you guys, of course, set your lineup, get yourself in a position to where you can hopefully capture a victory here and then begin to build a streak as we progress towards the fantasy football playoffs, which begin in Week 15. Hopefully, we can go ahead and get into the playoffs, get into the big dance, and then make some noise and win some championships. There are going to be a couple questions, of course, that many of you are going to ask. So be sure to keep your ears peeled, because if, in fact, there are questions that are heavily repeated, I'm going to try to address it once and then hopefully not have to address it too many times consecutively. Again, like we do on a typical weekly basis, on screen to the right of me, we have up-to-date rankings as for our top 36 running backs and wide receivers and top 16 quarterbacks and tight ends. So just to give you some idea, the rankings to the right of me do not include any of the players from Thursday, and they do not include any players that are potentially going to be out this week. So I've already gone ahead and taken into account all of that information. I've also gone ahead and taken into account a couple of the questionable players in terms of whether or not they're going to play. Guys like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, we weren't 1,000% sure of yesterday, but now we've been given full confirmation that they are expected to play in tonight's game, Sunday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. Another name that we might have to talk about in future moments here, I'm sure many of you are going to be asking, is in regards to Marquise Hollywood Brown. I currently have him as a low-end wide receiver 1. That is under the assumption that he's playing. Now, that is what I'm currently in the belief of. I do believe that Marquise Hollywood Brown is going to play on Monday night, but I would only ever suggest that you can make that move of playing him if you have a pivoting option. Now, what I mean by a pivoting option is that you have someone else in that Monday night contest, like a Brandon Ayuk, a Rondale Moore, Deebo Samuel, that you can pivot to if, in fact, we don't see him, participate. He is expected to return from the injury reserve. He practiced the entire week with the team. That is my expectation. I do expect him to play. All right, so let's get into this, shall we? There's a lot of questions to answer, and I'm sure many of you guys have already sent them in. If you do end up sending in a donation question, preemptively, again, you don't have to, but if you do, be sure to include your scoring format, and also make sure that your message is attached, because there are multiple circumstances in which somehow, some way, we get into a situation where it just doesn't attach, and then I have to go looking for the question, and because, the time in which you send it in, and by the time I got it, your question's completely just off the screen because it updates so quickly. So, yes. Here's another thing, guys. If you guys are going to ask a question like, Andrew, why this player over this player in specific, it is going to be really tough for me to get into the specifics of it, mainly because of time constraints. Again, a lot of people are saying, hey, why is Kadarius Toney ranked this high? There's an entire video pretty much dedicated to it, and an entire 5-minute block on Friday with Kadarius Toney on that thumbnail to give you a little bit of an indication as to why I'm going in that direction. There's many different videos, and that's why I typically talk about players throughout the week, so that you have a baseline of understanding as to where I'm going and why I am specifically influenced by specific statistics and or trends to go and play with those specific players at that ranking point. That's pretty much it. I think we're good to go. Let's answer some questions, shall we? Getting into Week 11 of the 2022 fantasy football season. All right, so let's begin here with a couple questions. The first one I see is from Lock Screen Gaming. Thank you very much. It says, Andrew, my lineup. Okay, goodness gracious, where is this? So it says, Andrew, my lineup is Fields, Mixon, Ekeler, Lamb, Tony, Schultz, Sutton, Washington. Okay. My bench is Keenan Allen, Palmer, Garrett Wilson. Any swaps? Question mark. Okay, so you have basically 3 wide receivers on your bench that could potentially be swapped in. As for playing them over Lamb or Tony, I would not be doing that in any sort of way. As for playing them over Sutton, I wouldn't do that either. So at this point, Lock Screen Game, your roster is good to go. I have no problem with that at this current moment in time. Good luck. Let's get a W here. D Porter sends in a question. Thank you very much. Says, hey Andrew, I desperately need a flex, and London is available on the wire. Should I go get him? My other options are Pickens, Henderson, or Gordon. Okay, again, I don't know what your scoring format is. This is what I was mentioning in terms of mentioning, but either way, let's say we're assuming you're in a half PPR scoring format. I would rather play the other options you have available, which whether it is Pickens, Gordon, or Henderson. If I was to be specific as to who out of that group I do prefer, let me go ahead. Let's look at my Patreon rankings here. Let's Control F Henderson, and let's see if he's the highest ranked amongst the group. So Henderson currently, as you guys can see on screen, is not ahead of Gordon, but is he ahead of Pickens? So Gordon will be the number one out of this group. So Gordon will get the flex play from me. Thank you very much, Porter. Appreciate it. Thank you. Juwan sends in a question. Says, pick one, Tony or Sutton in a full PPR. Yeah, I'm going with Kadarius Toney. If you guys want to play Sutton, by all means, go for it. Again, I'm just here giving you guys my perspective as to what I would do if I had all these players and I had to pick a roster, right, in comparisons, right? This is my opinion. These are the way that I would like to play my season. If you would like to follow, you can go ahead and do so, or you can take these, overall rankings as suggestions and then go with your gut feeling accordingly and play it as such. But at this current moment, I would like to roll it as such. I'm playing Kadarius Toney in that scenario. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see here. We had, what is this? All right, Adel sends in a question. It says PPR. Do I bench Terry Cooper or Connor for Toney? If we're benching one, in my opinion, I would like to bench Amari Cooper in that position. I'd like to play Terry McLaurin as per usual, and I'd like to play Connor. I mean, when you look at Terry McLaurin's last 4 games, they're all over 10 fantasy points, and 3 of them are over like 15 fantasy points. So Terry McLaurin does not get a drop in any sort of capacity there. With no Eno Benjamin in the backfield for Arizona, that opens up even more opportunity for Connor. He's getting, of course, his utilization in the receiving game, so that doesn't bother us in any sort of capacity. The issue that I have with Amari Cooper is, of course, the defensive coverage and his lack of targets or inconsistency of targets on a per weekly basis. One week he'll have 12, the other week he'll have 3, and he's done that all season long. When I have such a stable option like Toney, I'm just going to roll with that. Thank you. Shoddy sends in a question. Thank you very much. Says, Montgomery / Cordarrelle Patterson at the flex, full PPR. If I'm picking one out of the 2, I would like to play David Montgomery, the thumbnail for today's video, or live stream in specific. Again, without Khalil Herbert there is less of an opportunity for another running back to come in, take a wide majority of those opportunities and run away with them. I think Montgomery probably gets 75% of the running back workload out of this backfield in an advantageous matchup in comparison to Cordarrelle Patterson, who is certainly going to get himself a wide majority of touches, but he's also going to be, primarily splitting down the middle with Algier, and of course Huntley will get himself in the rotation, and they have a mobile quarterback. So the mobile quarterback of Fields, of Mariota. Yes, Fields runs the ball more, but there's still always that threat down on the goal line for both those teams. So I'm playing Montgomery there. As for PPR, Olave or Paris Campbell, I'd like to play Paris Campbell. So a couple things that I wanted to mention to you guys. We'll mention kickers and defensive rankings probably every, I'd say 30 minutes throughout this stream. So we'll mention it at 8:30, 9, 9:30. So we'll mention on 3 different circumstances so that we're all on the same page in that regard. In terms of the New Orleans Saints, they've got themselves a huge problem specifically this week. 3 of their starting offensive linemen are out. Okay, that includes their center, left guard, center, left guard, left tackle, all out this week. That is why I've moved, Alvin Kamara, down a pretty significant margin in comparison to where I had him earlier this week. And not only that, their defense as a whole is missing a lot of players. I mean, besides the fact that they're missing Cameron Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore, Marcus Davenport, they're also missing Pete Werner. That's 4 of their starters already gone. 2 of their defensive linemen in specific, who obviously are the biggest threats against Matthew Stafford and being able to stop him from doing anything today. So they've got a lot of pieces missing in today's game, which is obviously something that has concerned me in regards to playing their defense. But we'll talk about them in a bit. But in specific, considering that offensive line is going to be in shambles today, it does make it a little bit more difficult in my eyes to start a guy like Chris Olave with Andy Dalton under a lot of pressure today. I honestly do expect to see Jameis Winston by halftime. All right, let me see here. What do we have? So we had a question here from, thank you again, Shotty, appreciate that. Michael Barton, thank you very much for the generous donation. Says 12-team league, standard PPR league. We have, so we have Patrick Mahomes, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Dulcich, Jalen Hurts for Toney, Campbell, and Pacheco, or Kamara. Wait, I don't understand this question. Okay, so let me go ahead and read this one time through. So you have Mahomes, Lamb, DK Metcalf, Jacobs, Travis Etienne. Okay, great. Dulcich and Jalen Hurts for Tony Campbell or Pacheco or Kamara. For flex options, what do you think we should roll with this week? Well, this is what is confusing me as of right now. Why are we mentioning whether you have DK Metcalf or ETN? Because they're both on bye anyway, right? So if we're going to start other wide receiver options this week in specific, for flex options, what do you think about this group for rest of the season? So either way, let's talk about flex options because rest of the season, you're fine. As for flex options this week, we're for sure not playing DK Metcalf, and we're going to fill his spot with Tony. And then as for your flex, I mean, obviously you got to play Kamara over Pacheco, but as for your flex, I'm playing Campbell there in a full PPR. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Michael Barton. All right, Dave Ports says exactly what? Let's see here. Let me go to move this mic just so I'm not in the worst spot. All right, Dave Ports says full PPR start 3. We have Sutton, Olave, Hollywood, and Foreman, and then we also have Amari Cooper. This is a big week. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, so as of the potential options that you have, I'd like to play. Well, okay, so considering you're in a very interesting position, right? So Sutton is an automatic play here in my mind. I want to play Hollywood Brown. The issue is you don't have a pivoting option. I still think he's going to play, but considering you don't have a pivoting option, and there's always still a chance out there that he's like, oh, you know what, I'm not going to play this week. Your best bet is most likely just rolling with Sutton. Oh, yeah, it's probably rolling with all 3 wide receivers. Just go Sutton, Olave, and Cooper and just roll those 3 in a full PPR. Thank you, Dave Ports. Appreciate it. Jesse Aldridge says, should I drop, what does it say? Should I drop James Robinson or Carter? What do you think about Slayton, or should I pick up Dameon Harris in a PPR? Pick up Robinson since D-Hop is injured. I mean, at this point, James Robinson, Michael Carter, are we dropping either of them for Slayton or Dameon Harris? That's your primary question. I don't think so. I don't think I need Slayton on roster unless you're super desperate for wide receiver potential play. So, yeah, it's not something that, in my opinion, is a necessity at this point. And neither is Dameon Harris. You could definitely pick up Dameon Harris if you'd like. But, again, he's similar to James Robinson where, yes, he's going to get touches, but he's primarily just going to be a handcuff going forward. Thank you. Appreciate it, Jesse. Josh Campbell says Denver defense or Saints defense. I currently have Denver's defense ahead of the Saints this week. Thank you. Chris Allin says Drake, Brian Robinson, Cordarrelle Patterson, flex full PPR. All right, let's see if the rankings change much in a full PPR. Currently, where do we have this? Okay, so we're talking about Drake, Robinson, and Patterson. I'm fairly certain Patterson is going to still lead the pack, and he does. Yeah, so it's still Cordarrelle Patterson in my eyes there. Again, the rankings that we do have on screen as of right now, guys, is half PPR, meeting everyone in the middle, whether you do play in a full PPR or a standard league. But as of right now, currently, yes, I'm still rolling with Mr. Cordarrelle Patterson over the bunch there. My expectation, based on everything that I've heard in terms of reports from Ian Rappaport, other NFL insiders, is that Gus Edwards is most likely going to be limited and or missing the game outright. So that does launch Kenyan Drake back into this conversation. That's why I've put him at number 19 in specific, considering the last couple weeks here as a primary back of this offense has been able to score some touchdowns and has been very fantasy relevant. So as of right now, yes, he does have value, but in comparison to the other two as of this week, I do prefer Cordarrelle Patterson and Brian Robinson over him. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let's see here. Luis sends in a question, says, good morning, Andrew. Broncos or Jets this week? I'm going to play the Broncos. Sorry, I'm going to play the Jets defense. We'll talk about the defensive rankings in about 24 minutes from now as a whole in terms of top 12 priority. But as of this current moment in time, yes, I do prefer the Jets defense over the Broncos. We're good to go. Thank you very much, Luis. Bug Eye sends in a question, says, right now starting Patterson, Sanders, and Barkley. Do I swap Drake for one of them? No, I'd keep it as such. I like Kenyan Drake. Again, he's at my number 19 spot, but in comparison to Patterson, whether it's half or full PPR, I would still rather play Patterson in comparison. Thank you. Steven Drake sends in a question, says, hey, Andrew, half PPR, I need 2. We have Ayuk, Gabe Davis, Myers, Pittman. Okay, great. Down by 10, right? Okay, no problem. So, again, like I mentioned, rankings are on screen, so this question could very easily be answered via the rankings here. We have Gabe Davis at 13. We have Myers at 15, Ayuk at 17, and Pittman at 19, right? So we're playing Gabe Davis. We're playing Myers. That is my suggestion. That's what I would roll with on my team. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let's see here. J.90. Let's see here, J. Where art thou? Where's your question, my man? J. says, good morning, Andrew. Appreciate the insight. Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's see what we got here. So need a flex, Brian Robinson, Pacheco, or Ayuk. Yeah, I'm going to probably play Brian Robinson there, especially standard play. Yeah, it's for sure going to be Brian Robinson taking on the Houston Texans, the best matchup of the position going into this week. Obviously, there's still the potential of guys like Antonio Gibson digging into his work ultimately, but the volume of rushing attempts, when you compare the two, has consistently leaned in the direction of Brian Robinson. They're going to be in a positive game script going throughout this game. They're going to be in a run-first offensive kind of mindset, similar to the way that they were against the Eagles, and going forward, will continue to succeed in doing so. So yeah, Brian Robinson's the play there. I appreciate that. Let's see here. We are what does this say? Okay, where did it go? So somebody in the chat was just asking Peoples-Jones or Michael Gallup. Again, I have Peoples-Jones ranked currently. Where is he on my screen? I have Donovan Peoples-Jones as my number 29 this week. I couldn't fit his full name, and neither could I fit Marquez Valdes-Scantling as their full names, because again, there's too many letters within that. But at this current moment, I have Donovan Peoples-Jones, the number 29 guys. And in that specific question in the chat was him or Gallup. Again, we're definitely playing him over Gallup, because Gallup has not been a great option thus far. Ahmed says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you as well. Let's see here. Pacheco or Deontay Johnson in a full PPR, says the Real Blue. At this moment, I think at the very best, truly, Deontay Johnson is probably 10 fantasy points based on what we've seen all season long. Pacheco, in my mind, probably can eclipse that, or hopefully he can eclipse that, and that's what I'm kind of leaning the direction of. Nate in the chat was saying, hey, anybody have Mark Andrews news? Yes. From the latest report that I saw, he is playing today. So you don't have to worry about him being active. Him and Lamar are good to go. Lamar was dealing with an illness, of course. Mark Andrews was dealing with coming back from the shoulder/knee injury. They're both expected to 1,000% play today. So we're good to go. Let's see here. With Hackett not calling plays, does that remotely bump Wilson? Love the channel. Yes, he is bumped based on my rankings right now. He wouldn't have been ranked within his current position within the top 16 if, in fact, he wasn't going to see the different offensive play calling. There's a reason why I even have Melvin Gordon where I do, and Latavius Murray. Considering the fact that the Broncos are going from now their offensive play caller is going to be their QB coach, which is Clint Kubiak. Clint Kubiak used to be the offensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings for the last couple seasons. Of course, we have seen how much of an offensive run first in their approach over the last couple years there in Minnesota. So we're assuming there's going to be a little bit more of a run first approach here against the Vegas Raiders. It will open up more play action and hopefully allow Russell Wilson to be a little bit of a better quarterback play within the given week. Appreciate it. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let me answer some more of these questions. We took care of Johnny Not Bravo. Thank you very much. Says, do I trade Chase, Henry for JT and Adams? PPR, I'm 6-4. Chase and Henry for JT and Adams. I mean, I think that's a relatively even trade across the board, under the assumption that JT is going to, maintain his current value of being like a 20-point player every single week. If it's my team and I'm looking at the upcoming schedule, if we can confirm in some sort of capacity that Chase is going to be at a maximum, potential once he comes back in week 12, 13, 14, I'd rather have the Henry side, because I truly do love the Henry matchups in the fantasy playoffs, and they're advantageous enough in my eyes to think that he could very easily in back-to-back weeks 15 and 16, score 30 fantasy points in each of those games. And if Chase just goes ahead, shows up, puts up 15 a pop, they will significantly outscore JT and Adams within those given weeks. So I prefer Henry and Chase, so you don't have to make that trade, but if you'd like to, you can. And the reason you would make that trade primarily is to get away from Chase if that's your concern. Joe R sends in a question, says, Rondell, Paris, DPJ, Singletary, Olave, Flex, PPR. Okay, so I'm assuming that my suggestion is most likely going to be Paris Campbell, but let me go ahead and check my PPR rankings and see if I have Singletary ahead of him. I don't think I will, but that's mainly off the top of my head. I just want to confirm as to what I had earlier this morning. So I have Singletary there, and I have Paris Campbell. Where art thou? Paris Campbell there. Yeah, it's not really close. I have Paris Campbell significantly ahead of him. Again, Paris Campbell, 3 consecutive weeks of 15-plus fantasy points with Matt Ryan under center. Matt Ryan does not like to throw the ball 10 or more yards down the field. He is consistently dumping it off to his wide receivers. very, pretty relatively close to the line of scrimmage. And the primary reason is because the offensive line hasn't been able to hold up this year. And of course, he needs to get the ball out of his hands, as the play progresses. And he's continued to find more and more of a rapport with Paris Campbell, which is obviously the reason why I've kind of jumped on that bandwagon since Matt Ryan has been the surprise starter from last week. Thank you. Appreciate it. Again, for those of you who are joining us this morning, again, if you guys have not yet already, check the rankings on screen. They are for a half PPR, top 36 running backs, wide receivers, top 16 quarterbacks, and tight ends. Just to give you an idea, the reason why I currently have, someone just asked, are you done with Kareem Hunt? At this moment, yes. I have Kareem Hunt as my 37 ranked running back, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check half PPR. Kareem Hunt is at quite literally 37. Kieran Williams, 38. Yeah, so I'm done for him, at this current moment in time. But either way, in terms of, for those of you guys who are asking about Marquise Hollywood Brown, because I see Jeremy Williams in the chat saying, is Hollywood Brown star tape? What does that even mean? Anyway, in regard to whether or not we're playing him, my expectation is for him to play. Does he play? I'm assuming he will, because he practiced with the team for the entire week, and they obviously indicated that, hey, they're going to set him to return this week or within 24 days, because that's how the injured reserve works. But my assumption is that he does play. If you are, in a position where you're like, hey, Andrew, I have Marquise Hollywood Brown, and I have a guy that's ranked 5 spots lower than him, like Sutton or something. Should I play Sutton today? Yeah, it's probably safer to play Sutton unless you have someone that is in that game for the Cardinals versus 49ers, that you have a pivoting option to, that if you get to that game, you can maybe move just in case. But yeah, if you have someone that's close in the rankings, guys, just play them, because it's right there. You know what I mean? We're good to go. Appreciate it. Okay, good to go. Okay, so let me go ahead. Let me catch up here. Somebody said kicker rankings. Yes, we're going to get to that in about 16 minutes. I appreciate it. Thank you. Someone said Jarvis or Claypool. I have Jarvis ahead of him. Bodo, thank you. So, Johnny Not Bravo, we took care of him. We took care of Joe R. Luke, Rosie, thank you very much. Says non-PPR, Drake, Debo, Olave, D-Hop. Who sits? If I'm sitting one this week, it's probably Olave in a standard league. I'd rather play Drake, Debo, and D-Hop. Thank you. Appreciate it. Juan Angel, thank you very much. Says, I need a flex this week. We need PPR, Keenan Allen, Donovan Peoples-Jones, or Swift. I'm going to play Keenan Allen this week in the flex in a full PPR. Thank you. After Juan Angel's question, we had ourselves a question from NM Toon. Says, Terry versus Tony, PPR. Texans good versus wide receivers. Tony for upside. Yeah, listen, the Texans have been good against wide receivers. Their primary cornerback, the rookie out of LSU, I forget his name, he's out this week. So I'm still playing Mr. Terry McLaurin F1. I'm good to go there. If you'd like to play Terry McLaurin, again, that's your prerogative. I have it ranked differently, but in a full PPR, I'd rather play Terry McLaurin. Thank you. iShine101 says, Sup Drew, Curtis Samuel or Van Jefferson need upside? Ooh, need upside? I don't know if we're going to find upside from either of them. I currently do have Curtis Samuel ranked higher. As of right now, in terms of how much higher, let's see here. Curtis Samuel, 38. Van Jefferson, 46. I don't really trust Van Jefferson too much. I don't know if he's going to get too much of an expanded role within the Cooper Kupp absence. Considering Cooper Kupp, even in last week's game, Van Jefferson did not play much. And that has been a returning factor that we've seen consistently. So as of right now, we're probably in a position where I'm thinking to myself, don't want to trust him. I just play Curtis Samuel there. Johnny Not Bravo says, do I start Michael Carter or Allen Robinson today? I'd rather play Michael Carter. Thank you. Appreciate that, Johnny. iShine101 says, okay, so that was iShine's question. We did Johnny Not Bravo. Good. Manolo sends in a question. Says, full PPR, pick one, Pacheco, Freiermuth, or Palmer. Yeah, I'm probably just going to play Pacheco there. I think Freiermuth could very easily come out with a week of like 4 catches, 45 yards, 8.5 fantasy points. I'm assuming that Pacheco probably surpasses that. If Freiermuth wants to have a significantly better game and score a touchdown and do all that nature, that's great. But he's not going to be in my flex position this week in comparison. So I'll just roll with Pacheco there. Thank you. Chris sends in a question. Chris says, flex full PPR, Rondell Moore, D'Onta Foreman, Garrett Wilson. Okay, so in a full PPR scoring format, I would rather play Garrett Wilson over the bunch. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Chris sends in a question, says, so this is second Chris. This is Chris Rosado. Says start 3.5 PPR scoring format. We have Mike Williams, Myers, we have Scary Terry, we have Slayton, we have DPJ. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty easy. Mike Williams, Myers, Scary Terry, those are your 3 starts. You sit Slayton and DPJ, you're good to go. Who do I start at tight end? Njoku, Freiermuth, or Hurst? Under the assumption that Njoku is going to play today, unless he's a surprise inactive in the next couple hours here. My assumption is that he is going to play. Let me go ahead and let me see here. Is there an active/inactives list that is available? Browns. Let's see here. I'm actually curious if there's an active. I mean, we'll probably be given that information from a notification here in a couple hours, or not even a couple hours, probably within the hour. But yeah, I'm assuming that we're going to see Njoku play. And when he does, he's in my lineup because we know how much of a value he is within that offense as a whole. So that's what I'm going to roll with. So yeah, Njoku, and then play Mike Williams, play Myers, play Scary Terry. Thank you. FF sends in a question, says standard AJ Brown, Mike Williams to start. As of this week, I would play AJ Brown over Mike Williams in a standard scoring format. Tight end plus 2 flex, Hurst or Dulcich. I would rather play Hayden Hurst this week over Dulcich based on the matchup in itself. Hollywood, Josh Palmer, or Darius Slayton. As for the 2 flex options there, I'm playing Hollywood Brown, and I'm probably playing Darius. Is Josh Palmer? Yeah, I'd probably play Hollywood Brown and Darius Slayton there. Playing Russell Wilson. Also pick 2 within a half PPR. Gabriel Davis, Deebo Samuel, and Singletary. Okay, so let's see here. FF, for your third question, right? In the half PPR, I'm playing Gabriel Davis for sure. I got to figure out whether I'm playing Singletary over Deebo, though. Singletary is currently going to be at 46, and Deebo Samuel in that conversation is 51. So we're playing Devin Singletary and Gabe Davis, both of the Buffalo Bills this week. Thank you. Appreciate it. Patrick sends in a question, says full PPR. I need 2 flex options out of the following. Gabe Davis, Sutton, Jamaal Williams. In a PPR scoring format, Gabe Davis, Sutton, Jamaal Williams. Let's see if Sutton is higher than Jamaal Williams in my full PPR ranking. Sutton, we have at 33, and we have Jamaal Williams. Where art thou? Jamaal Williams at 42. So yeah, we're playing both those wide receivers there. So the suggestion is go Gabriel Davis and Sutton there. Patrick, appreciate it. AJ03 says, start 2, Pacheco, Gus, Algier, Dameon Harris. If it's my team, I'm playing Pacheco, and I'm playing Algier. Thank you. Appreciate it. Derek Brown says 6-point per passing touchdown league. Do I play Kyler Murray / Colt McCoy if it becomes that, or Daniel Jones? Yeah, I'm relatively comfortable playing the Kyler Murray / Colt McCoy duo. I think the upside is there in that regard. So yes, I would play that pivot, even if it comes to that pivot. I don't think it will. Over the course of the week, we did see a couple full practice participations from Kyler, so I'm not too worried about it. I would play the Kyler end of that deal. Derek, thank you. All right, let's see here. Craig Harrison says, start 1 wide receiver and 1 flex in a full PPR scoring format. We have Michael Pittman Jr., we have Antonio Gibson, and Darnell Mooney. So of the 3 options, I'm playing Michael Pittman Jr. as your wide receiver, and I'm playing Antonio Gibson in your flex. I'm benching Darnell Mooney. Yeah, we're good to go there. Thank you very much, Craig. I appreciate that. Devin Gutierrez says Miles Sanders or D'Onta Foreman in a full PPR. I would play Miles Sanders this week. Again, the D'Onta Foreman matchup in itself is enough to push me in a direction where, yes, the matchup against the Ravens, they're a tough run-stopping defense. And then you have to accompany the fact that Baker's going to be at quarterback. Baker earlier this season was at like a 48% passing completion percentage as a quarterback, as a starter. It is going to be a rough day for Carolina unless the running game completely carries their team, which I think is going to be a tough ask in comparison to the Eagles, which, of course, behind the best offensive line in the league. I'll take Sanders there. Ferris says Kittle or Sutton in a full PPR. Good question. Let's see here. Full PPR. Let's see where Kittle is in comparison to Sutton. So I have Kittle ranked as my number. Where is he? Where's Sutton? Okay. Yeah. As of this moment in time, I have Kittle ahead of Sutton in a full PPR system. That's where I'm going. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Black Jesus sends in a question. Says, with Marquise Hollywood Brown up in the air, would you flex Rondale Moore or Keenan Allen? I'd flex the Rondale Moore play. I would. I would wait until tomorrow. And if Marquise is not available, you play Rondale Moore. Because if Marquise is not available, theoretically, which I don't think it's going to be the case. I think he'll actually be active tomorrow. But if he's not, in your specific circumstance, Rondale Moore would be a higher ranked player in the absence of a Marquise Hollywood Brown. So, yes, play the two Cardinals, one of the two Cardinals. We'll wait until tomorrow to decide. Jake St. Paul says Marquise Brown playing today. Yes, I mean, it would be tomorrow. But again, like I mentioned as the stream began, and I'll once again reiterate, I believe he's playing. All the clips that I saw of him practicing this week were that he was ready to go. Obviously, they designated him to return within a 21-day window. Tomorrow is probably one of the best days that you could probably bring him back because he is ready to go. The only thing is, again, if you're worried about it and you're in a position where you're like, Andrew, I don't have anybody to pivot to. If he doesn't play on Monday night, I'm pretty much stuck in having to play AJ Green or something like that. Then at that point, you just play the next highest ranked player. If you have the ability to pivot to guys like Debo, Ayuk, Rondale Moore, other options in that capacity, or potential flex options like Elijah Mitchell, or something of that extent, then you would pivot accordingly when you get there if it's necessary. Otherwise, you roll with one of your other ranked guys that are close to him, and you don't worry about him, because again, it's rather to be we'd rather be safe than sorry. Rhode Island says, I need two for the flex. We have Cordarrelle Patterson, we have DPJ, we have Carter, Hunt, and Pacheco, and we also have MVS. So out of those potential options, under this, okay, Mahomes is my quarterback, PPR, and points for kick and punt returns. Okay, well, I don't know anything about whether or not these players are going to be getting kick and punt return utilization. But I'm fairly certain, outside of Pacheco, which I'm assuming he's going to get replaced in terms of his special teams utilization in terms of kick returns, you're probably not going to get any points from that. So it's just a matter of who would we rather play out of the bunch. I'm going to go with Cordarrelle Patterson and Pacheco there. Thank you. No problem, Jesse. You're good to go. We're good to go. Let's see here. Trey Kerb says Dulcich or Juwan Johnson. I have Dulcich ahead of Juwan Johnson. Again, like I was mentioning earlier, the fact that there's 3 starting offensive linemen missing from the Saints has me pretty concerned about that offense as a whole. So I'm trying to play it safe with Juwan Johnson, especially considering how much of a touchdown dependent player he has been. Blair Davis says, should I start Pittman or Hollywood? Yeah, at this point, if you have Pittman and Hollywood and you don't have a pivoting option like I was mentioning before, just play Pittman and you're fine. Because again, they're close enough in my rankings to where it's not like you have to play Hollywood there. Enemies Within says full PPR, Brady or Geno. Drop Brady or Geno. If we're going to drop one of them, I mean, legitimately, I think I'd rather drop Geno rest of the season. I think I'd rather have Brady. As for your follow-up, Gibson or Wilson, who are we playing this week? In a full PPR, let's see here. Full PPR, where do I have Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson's there, and where is Antonio Gibson? I have Garrett Wilson at 39, and I have Antonio Gibson at 50. So, yeah, we'll play Garrett Wilson there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so it's about 8:25. What I'll go ahead and do is I'll just start mentioning a couple kicker and defense rankings because Alan in the chat was saying, hey, where are they at? I'm like, okay, let's do it. I just want to answer a couple more questions in the chat real quick. Pacheco or Deontay Johnson in a full PPR? Again, I answered the question earlier. It's a matter of just playing Pacheco because Deontay Johnson's ceiling is like 10 points. That's purely why. And to be totally honest, if I'm risking Pacheco getting 8 points and then having the upside of getting like 16 in comparison to Deontay, who's pretty much been like 8 points or 10 at very best, I'd rather play with the guy that has a little bit more fluctuating upside and ceiling there. So that's why I'm playing Pacheco. Jacoby or Najee in the flex. Peter McBride, if it's any sort of PPR format, half full, I think I feel far more comfortable rolling with Jacoby. We know that Najee Harris is coming off a week of 20 rushing attempts. The only issue that I have with Najee Harris is his lack of effectiveness and, of course, ability for scoring touchdowns. Now, if he can go ahead and be effective today and score touchdowns, by all means, I'll love it and I won't complain. But if we have to play one of the two and we're just playing off of potential upside, potential risk, it's a matter of just preferring to play Jacoby Myers there. All right, let's see here. Let's talk about some kicker and defensive rankings, shall we? All right, so we're going to go through this relatively slowly just so we're all on the same page in terms of where we're at, okay? Let's talk about our top 12 defenses for Week 11 of the 2022 fantasy football season for the remaining defenses that are available. Here we go. Number 1, New England Patriots. Number 2, Baltimore Ravens. Number 3, New York Jets. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. Number 5, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 6, San Francisco 49ers. Number 7, Washington Commanders. Number 8, Los Angeles Rams. Number 9, Dallas Cowboys. Number 10, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 11, Denver Broncos. And number 12, we have the New Orleans Saints. That is my top 12 defenses. Let's move on to top 12 kickers. Number 1, Justin Tucker. Number 2, Tyler Bass. Number 3, Nick Folk. Number 4, Graham Gano. Number 5, Daniel Carlson. Number 6, Robbie Gould. Number 7, we have Evan McPherson. Number 8, Brett Maher. Number 9, it is Younghoe Koo. Number 10, Harrison Butker. Number 11, Cameron Dicker. Number 11, sorry, that was number 11. Number 12, Greg Zuerlein. Okay, those are my top 12 kickers and defenses. We'll go ahead and once again re-mention that in about 30 minutes from now for those of you guys who just hop in newly. If you guys did just hop in, again, we have rankings on screen that are up to date as of this morning as to what I would do going into this upcoming week. If in fact, oh yes, Laura, great point. She just said, can you put the rankings in the description of the video so that we can see it? Yes, I will do that right now. One moment, please. Let me go ahead and do that for those of you guys who are on mobile so that everyone has a visual representation of said rankings. Let's go ahead. Let me copy all these rankings and let's put this, edit the description. Okay, so we have, boom, paste that. Perfect, done, save. All right, so for those of you who are on mobile, the rankings that are on screen are now in the description of the video, so you can go ahead, click that, and then scroll accordingly and find the players that you need. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. But again, rankings on screen are up to date as of this morning. We're good to go. Appreciate it. Brian, what's up? How you doing? Okay, let's see here. Where are we at? So Trey Day in the chat was asking Tony Patterson or Olave. I'm playing Tony there. Okay, so let's get back to some of these donation questions that were sent in. Enemies within we took care of. iShine101 says PPR pick 1, Brandon Cooks, Curtis Samuel, Jacoby Myers. I'm playing Jacoby Myers there. Thank you very much. Paul Getz says, I need 3.5 PPR. Do I roll with Detroit running backs, Zeke, or Kadarius Toney? Yeah, I would play both of the Detroit running backs. I'd play Jamaal Williams, I'd play Swift, and I'd play Toney. And I would bench Zeke this week there, Paul. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Moving on, we have Terry Rice. It says, do you have more faith in Foreman than DJ Moore today? Yes, I do. I have more faith in Foreman than I do have with DJ Moore because DJ Moore is 100% at the mercy of the potential of Baker Mayfield. And I just don't trust Baker Mayfield. Nothing is, nothing that he has shown us this season has given me any hope that DJ Moore has super high upside within this given game. So at this point, I know that this offense wants to run the ball and they're going to do it for majority of this game. If their defense can at least keep this matchup close, then that running game will continue to be a useful part. And, we know that D'Onta Foreman is a talented enough running back to get the yardage. It's just a matter of whether he can get that touchdown, which makes his performance that much better. But yes, I do trust Foreman far more than Moore today. Thank you. Johnny Coffee says, Andrew, where did that go? Why did it update like that? Johnny Coffee, wait, what did you mention to say? He says, sorry, I forgot to mention his half PPR. No problem. Okay, so to answer your question, Johnny, I feel like Van Jefferson may surprise people. No. Should I just go safe with Paris Campbell? Yeah, I'd rather just go safe with Paris Campbell. I mean, the target counts that Paris Campbell has seen, like, do we expect Van Jefferson to really garner that kind of level of opportunity? I don't really think so. Now, if Van Jefferson wants to make one singular play, like a singular catch for 60 yards and a touchdown, great. He's going to make his entire fantasy week within that given play. But those are variables that we can't take into account. I can't predict that happening. I can assume that he has the potential for a high upside play like that. But in comparison to the stability of what Paris Campbell's presented and the touchdowns and the upside there, it's hard not to play Paris Campbell there. That's what I would suggest. Kyle Singer says, Pollard or Boyd in a full PPR. Love you, long time handsome. Appreciate it. Thank you. I play Pollard. I think the return of Ezekiel Elliott does present some, conflicting ideas where it's like, hey, maybe Zeke's going to get a little bit more touches. Sure. There's always going to be a two-headed monster in this backfield. That's how they want to run the offense, right? But in the last couple of weeks, even with the absence of Zeke, they've run the ball 22 times and 27 times. They want to continue to run the ball within this offense, and they're going to continue to do so, primarily through Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is the best running back in this backfield. They're aware of that. We're aware of that, or at least I am, to the point where, yes, absolutely without a doubt, Tony Pollard in my mind is a top 12 running back. and I am treating him as such. He's going to get the opportunities, and he's going to be the most effective back at doing so in this backfield, considering he's still averaging 6 yards per carry. So in terms of convincing you to play Boyd over playing Pollard over Boyd, yes, Boyd is a great play, but I think there's just a little bit more upside with the volume of touches, the upside that the home run hitting ability of Pollard to just strike within a given week. Tony Telford says, full PPR, do I flex Pollard, Montgomery, or Jacoby Myers? Yes, I'm playing Pollard there. Again, if you want to play those other two, you certainly can. I think my next highest ranked would probably be Montgomery there, but I do prefer Pollard of the bunch. Thank you. Sam Thomas 21 says, hey Andrew, half PPR, pick 2, Gallup, Palmer, Slayton. Gallup, Palmer, Slayton. Or pick 1 with Marquise Brown. I would play, legitimately, not even joking, I would pick 1 with Marquise Brown. I think the separation is enough of a play to take on the risk. I would play Slayton with Marquise Brown there. Thank you. Triggered easily says full PPR, 12-team league. Kmet or Boyd in the flex? I would play Boyd. Thank you very much. Currently, just to give you some perspective as to how I have them ranked, right now, where's Boyd? Boyd is my number 36 player in a full PPR on the flex, and Kmet is my number 43. So 36, 43, yes, there's a 7-spot differential, but it's enough in my mind to continue to play Boyd there. Thank you. But yeah, Kmet is up there, guys. Kmet is a very valuable prospect, especially considering he's caught 5 of the last 7 passing touchdowns from, of course, Justin Fields, who he's my number 1 quarterback going into the week, interestingly enough. So yeah, a lot of people are saying he's got to come down to earth eventually, and I say yeah, maybe, but not this week. Steven Drake says, I see your rankings. But you won me 3 championships. I'm donating anyway. LOL. Need 3. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. Half PPR. Need 3. We have Mixon, we have Chubb, we have Sanders, Drake, Stevenson, Pierce. All right, I appreciate that. Thank you. It is for sure playing Mixon, Chubb, and Stevenson. We're benching the rest. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Steven. Seth Peterson says, Rondell Moore, Kadarius Toney, Deontay Johnson, Gabe Davis, PPR. Yeah, in a full PPR, it would be ranked in the order of Toney, Davis, Moore, Deontay. So if you're picking 1, it's Toney. If you're picking 2, it's Toney and Gabe. If you're picking 3, it's Toney, David, Moore. Thank you. EJ Rodriguez, greetings and salutations. Thank you very much. Says full PPR league. I have Herbert as my quarterback. I got to pick 2 wide receivers for this week and flex 1. We have Mike Williams, we have Keenan Allen, we have Michael Pittman, we have Sutton, we have Carter, we have Kenyan Drake. In a full PPR scoring format this week, EJ, let's see here. So you have Kenyan Drake. I'm actually curious. Is Kenyan Drake higher ranked than in my full PPR? So I have Kenyan Drake at 45. And then where's Michael Pittman in this? I think I have Michael Pittman ahead of him. Yeah. So in this specific circumstance, EJ, we're playing Mike Williams, we're playing Cortland Sutton, and we're playing Michael Pittman Jr. Those are the 3 that you'd start this week. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Pimp sends in a question, says full PPR 14-team league. Devonta Smith, or Darnell Mooney. I played Devonta Smith in a full PPR. Thank you. Appreciate it. Rockout says 1 running back, 2 flex. We have Swift, B-Rob, Pacheco, Allen Robinson, Nico Collins in a full PPR. I would play Brian Robinson. I'd play Pacheco. And I probably, oh man, do I want to play Swift there? Again, guys, I'm worried about Swift. I think it's so risky to play him in a lot of these circumstances. I'm actually curious where I'm not even kidding. I probably have him ranked higher just because of the name value in itself, which kind of sucks. But in comparison to Allen Robinson and Nico Collins, I mean, Nico Collins would probably be the safer play of the bunch. But even then, he's not. He had 1 good week last week. He had five catches on 10 targets, right? And that's not even the greatest week that you could possibly imagine, technically. Let's see here. Yeah, I have Swift ahead of Nico Collins. So the way I have it ranked currently would have you rock out. It would basically have you playing Pacheco, Brian Robinson, and Allen Robinson. That's the way it would go in my current rankings. Thank you. Markel Adams says Hollywood Brown or Elijah Mitchell in the flex, full PPR. So considering they both play in the same game on Monday night, you're in a great position. So you go to that game and you play Hollywood Brown. If he's out, you play Elijah Mitchell, you're good to go. But again, the assumption is that Hollywood Brown will be active and ready to go. Thank you. Let me see here. There's a couple notifications on my phone. Just want to confirm if there's any new information that has been. So Gus Edwards is officially out, which was the assumption. That's why we have Kenyan Drake currently where he's currently ranked. What else is there? Cameron Jordan will miss the first game due to injury today. Okay, good. Okay, whatever. That's fine. We already knew Cam Jordan was going to be out along with Marcus Davenport. So both the defensive ends for the Saints are going to be out. Mac Jones spent some time to buy with. Yeah, nobody cares about Mac. Okay, thank you very much. All right, let's keep moving, boys. Where are we at here? So we have Markel Adams' question. We took care of that. Kenton sends in a question. Thank you very much. Says, did I fumble this trade? I shipped Olave and Najee Harris for Patterson and Myers. Full PPR, 3-wide receiver league. I have Josh Allen, Kelsey, Kenneth Walker, Waddle, Deontay. No, I don't think you fumbled this. I mean, no, I don't think so. I mean, if you ask me, Andrew, who do you prefer more, Najee Harris or Patterson rest of the season? I would tell you Patterson. If you were to ask me, Andrew, who do you prefer more at this moment in time, rest of the season, Olave with Andy Dalton or Jacoby Myers with, whoever starts at the Patriots? It would be Jacoby Myers. Now, until we get to a conversation where it is Jameis Winston playing with Olave, I cannot, value him over Myers. So yeah, I don't think this is a fumble of a trade. I think you actually made an upgrade here at both positions. Thank you. Sebastian McPherson sends in a question. Says tough! ! Says pick one for the flex full PPR. We have Swift, Brian Robinson, Deontay Johnson. Yeah, I'm playing Brian Robinson there, and I'm doing it confidently in my mind. Again, opportunity, best matchup. Not really worried about injuries. Not really worried about a lack of production from guys like Swift and Deontay there. I just played Brian Robinson. Colin Smith says full PPR, Greg Dulcich or Michael Carter. I played Michael Carter this week. Thank you. Derek Brown, full PPR, Curtis Samuel, Cooks or Hollywood. I play Hollywood there. Hooch sends in a question. Says full PPR, 12-man. I have ETN, Chubb, Pierce, Kamara. I need to trade one for a receiver. Who should it be? If I'm trading one of those one of those four options, I would be trading Pierce away. That would be the call that I would make. I significantly prefer Kamara, ETN, and Chubb in the fantasy playoffs, weeks 15 through 17. So yes, I would trade Pierce out of that group. Simply Rages says, with Judy Hamler out, might it be hard for Sutton? As in getting double teamed the entire game? Yes, that is an assumption, right? We already assume that Sutton is going to be double teamed regardless of whether those other guys are out. It's just a matter of, in the current circumstances, that they run him on shorter routes or he runs a comeback, the double coverage of taking the top off the defense won't be as difficult. So at this point, yes, it is going to be difficult for Sutton, but I've already taken that into account. Luis Alcantar says, come on, people, click the like button. It doesn't cost anything. Appreciate the work. Thank you very much, Luis. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys could do me a favor, again, if you guys appreciate the content on a weekly basis, and of course the rankings that are on screen, and of course the defensive kicker rankings that I mention every 30 minutes here during the live stream, if you guys could do me a favor, click the like button. Takes 2 seconds out of your day. Certainly helps the channel. You may be thinking, Andrew, what does 1 or 2 likes do for you? I can assure you, in the entire grand scheme of the algorithm that is YouTube itself, it is the biggest difference maker between having a channel that is growing and a channel that is dying. And if you guys could do me the solid and help me continue to grow, that would mean the world to me, because quite literally this channel is my life. So if you click the like button, you're pretty much continuing Andrew's potential fantasy content on a weekly basis and yearly basis. So appreciate that. Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave, they're too close in the rankings, says Jabriel. At this point, if I'm picking one, yeah, I'd rather just play Garrett Wilson. I think his last 2 performances, one being against the New England Patriots, leads me in the direction of just trying to roll there. I'd love for Chris Olave to be relevant again in fantasy, but it's tough with Andy Dalton in the way that offense is trending as of late. Albert says, PPR, Garrett Wilson or Cole Kmet. Let me see here, Albert. Let me look this up. So I have Garrett Wilson at 39 in a full PPR, and I have Cole Kmet as 43. So I'd still play Garrett Wilson there. For those of you guys who are wondering as to whether or not you should play, like a lot of you probably have scenarios where you have like Kelsey, Kittle, Schultz, and Andrews as your primary tight end, and you might want to play Kmet as your flex. Yeah, even in this same scenario, just to give you guys an understanding, it would probably take a wide receiver I would probably play Cole Kmet over Devonta Smith this week. That's what I would do. So if you're wondering where Cole Kmet kind of values at, that's where I'm kind of thinking at this moment. I mean, for a half PPR, it might be even more significant. Yeah, in a half PPR, it's actually more significant. That's in a full PPR. In a half PPR, I have him literally as valuable as Michael Pittman Jr. this week. So I would play Cole Kmet over Michael Pittman Jr. as a flex. Just an idea. Appreciate it. All right, so David Njoku, I got the notification. He's officially active, healthy. We're good to go. No problems asked. Mark Andrews is also officially active. I mean, again, these are things that we assume. This is why we ranked them as such, and there's no problem there. I did the possible research. Did you answer my question yet? Says Pyro Hype. No, I haven't got there yet. I'm gonna catch up right now. So after Louis' question, we had Colin Smith. Colin Smith says Tony or Mooney. I'm gonna play Tony there, Colin. Thank you very much. Pyro Hype 323 says traded Najee Harris / Brandon Cooks for Kamara. Good trade. Absolutely a good trade. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Listen, Brandon Cooks has relatively no value at this point, and Najee Harris has very little high upside potential in these upcoming weeks. If Kamara can flip it around, whether it's with a quarterback switch or with the offense just leaning back in his direction in terms of passing attempts, he's a significantly more valuable prospect in comparison to those two. That's a fantastic trade there. Just Get It Done says flex Pollard over Connor, Olave, Mooney, Williams. Yes, I would flex him over all those options. I would. Thank you. CB says full PPR, need to start 2, Garrett Wilson, Tony Pollard, Hollywood Brown. If you don't have a pivoting option, you can absolutely play Garrett Wilson and Tony Pollard and don't worry about it. But if it's my mind, well, listen, I don't want to suggest a play where you're like, I'm telling you, hey, you have to play Pollard tomorrow. You don't have to play him, right? It's a risky idea if you don't have a pivoting option. So if you don't, just play Garrett Wilson and play Tony Pollard. And we'll talk about Hollywood Brown in future weeks. But if you're willing to take if you're ready to take the red pill and see how far the rabbit hole goes, take Hollywood Brown and Pollard. Let's roll with it. Thank you. Saint Sebastian in the chat was saying Jamaal Williams or Dameon Pierce. Again, guys, rankings on screen are up to date as of this morning. So these are not rankings from earlier in the week. These are completely retuned and reconstructed as of this morning for today's rankings for this weekend. So Jamaal Williams is currently a number 17 ranked running back. As for who was the other running back that you were mentioning? Dameon Pierce is currently as my number 12. So again, if you guys are on mobile, potentially you're not home, you're trying to find the rankings. Rankings are also down in the description for all the players that are currently on screen. Hopefully helps you out. Appreciate it. So like Nick Bishop, all the questions that you just asked there, my good sir, that is also on screen. Good to go. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so let me go ahead and catch up a little bit here. Cinco2X says, full PPR, drop Pacheco for Paris Campbell and go with him. Yeah, if you want a better play this week in a full PPR scoring format, yes, my suggestion would be Paris Campbell. CB, I mean, I don't like the idea of dropping Pacheco. Let's get this first and foremost, right? But if you need a win this week, then that's a fine play because I do prefer Pacheco probably as a guy that could be a top 24 running back rest of the season, and there aren't going to be many of those left after a couple weeks here now. Let's see here. CB, we took care of that. We took care of Cinco. Matt K says, flex DPJ or Najee Harris in a half PPR. I'm fairly certain I have Najee Harris ranked higher. I can confirm this at this moment. Let's see here. Najee Harris. Yeah, I have Najee Harris at 55. I have DPJ at 64 in my half PPR ranking. So Najee is the play. Thank you. Let's see here. Devin Gutierrez sends in a question. Says, start Boyd or Campbell in a full PPR. I need upside. I think that Campbell's consistency of play and his consistency of upside in that regard leans me in his direction. Going up against the matchup, like I talked about earlier this week on my Wednesday wide receiver video, guys, the primary slot cornerback of the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't know why that happened, Avonte Maddox, he's on the injured reserve. Their backup slot corner is one of the worst graded players according to Pro Football Focus. He's given up a boatload of yards in the minimal opportunity that he has had to start and play this season. And of course, we have Paris Campbell predominantly playing from the slot. He's going to dominate in that matchup. Joe Cohen says, Drake, Brian Robinson, or Gibson in the flex full PPR. I still have Brian Robinson ahead of Gibson in a full PPR. I don't believe this is going to be one of those games where Gibson is getting a high volume of receiving targets that is going to separate him in that regard. That being said, as for Drake versus, let's see here. Let's go to my full PPR rankings. Drake, Brian Robinson. Yeah, I'm still going to play Brian Robinson there. They're close. They're a little back-to-back. But Brian Robinson's the guy that I prefer out of the bunch there. Appreciate that, Joe. C. Crip says, I need one for the flex. I just need one. Full PPR. Olave, Boyd, Montgomery, Rondell Moore, or Foreman. I prefer Montgomery out of the group there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Pedro's Lucario says, standard pick 2, Samuel, Dalton, Pacheco. I'm legitimately playing Deebo Samuel and Pacheco over Andy Dalton. I am. I'll do that. In a standard league, I would. It's sketchy to do that, but I'm going to do it. Thank you. Currently, I have Andy Dalton as my lowest ranked quarterback. I legitimately think that this is the week he gets replaced by Jameis. That's what I'm throwing out there. Let's see here. I sends in a question. He says, full PPR, Dalton Schultz, Paris Campbell, Allen Robinson. Off the top of my head, I already know the answer. It's Paris Campbell, number 1, Dalton Schultz, number 2, Allen Robinson, number 3. Thank you. Moving on to Crypt Keeper. It says, full PPR, flex Palmer, Hurst, or Henderson. Tons of bye weeks this week. In a full PPR, I would rather flex Hurst out of the bunch. Hayden Hurst, thank you. Ray sends in a question. Mangon says, full PPR, Swift, Tony, Garrett Wilson, pick 2, sit 1. I'm sitting DeAndre Swift there. I'm playing Tony and Garrett Wilson. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Okay, so let's see here. Am I almost caught up? I think I almost am. Maybe. No. Okay, almost. Healing Meditation says, Ayuk or Tony? I'm playing Tony this week. Thank you very much. Kelly Appleton says, full PPR. If Brown plays, still play Moore or start Mooney, Slayton, or Peoples-Jones. Yes, I would still wait, hold on, wait. Let me confirm this. So in a full PPR, if Marquise Brown plays, are we still playing Moore over Mooney? Yes, I am. And Slayton and over DPJ. So basically, Kelly, we're playing both those Cardinals receivers. Appreciate it. Eric sends in a question. Says Pacheco, Drake, or Foreman. The suggestion for me would be to play Kenyan Drake today with Gus Edwards inactive. And then as for your flex, it would be Foreman. So it would go Drake and Foreman, roll them out there, good to go. Smooth Criminal Entertainment says Hunt or Pacheco. I'd significantly rather play Pacheco this week. Thank you. Dameon Harris, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very generous. Says full PPR. Who do I start? Ben Skoranek or Drake London in the flex? LOL, yeah, it's that bad. I'd play Drake London there. Ben Skoranek could be great, but again, we have to take into account, guys, that in the absence of a Cooper Kupp, it is not going to be as... They're not... Skoranek, Van Jefferson, Allen Robinson, they're not talented enough to do what Kupp does. They can't get open. You get targets in this league when you're open. Yes, sometimes you get targets when you're not open and they're contested catches, but it's a very slight volume of opportunities. When we're talking about getting open, especially against this secondary, I'd feel far more comfortable rolling out with Drake London there. Thank you. Matthew Rosado says, Deontay Johnson or Devonta Smith? Half PPR or Devonta Smith? Thank you. Okay, so Victor, I see your question, or I see your donation, but I don't see a question attached to it. So Victor, Venezuela, can you do me a favor? Type in your, maybe I spelled it wrong, Victor? Maybe I do see it. Aha, I do. Perfect. Awesome. Victor says, good morning, Andrew. I have Knox. Oh, this is a different Victor, but hey, you know what, Victor? You get the bonus just because another guy named Victor sent it in. Don't know. I have Knox. Should I drop Everett for Moreau? I would. That's fine by me. Again, Everett is going to be a lesser value option with the potential of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams back. So yes, I don't mind doing that swap for Foster Moreau there. As for the Victor Venezuela question, need help at running back, rest of the season, full PPR, Lenny Kamara, Patterson, Foreman, Rashad White. Trying to move Lenny plus Cordarrelle Patterson for Mixon or Aaron Jones. Am I overthinking it? No, I think that's a good play. If you can get Mixon or Aaron Jones out of that, I would. Because I don't really trust Lenny at the rest of this season, especially with Rashad White breathing down his neck. Thank you. All right, Billy Welsh sends in a question. Says, in a 12-team full PPR league, okay, we need an RB2 and a flex. We have Najee, we have Warren, we have Gordon, we have Pacheco, we have Garrett Wilson. Out of the available options in a full PPR, I am playing Pacheco and I'm playing Garrett Wilson there. Thank you. Also, Pitts or Dulcich this week, I would rather play. Is this a full PPR still? Yes. In a full PPR, I'd rather play Kyle Pitts. Appreciate that, Billy. Thank you. Brandon sends in a question. Says flex, full PPR, D'Onta Foreman or Jacoby Myers? Give me Myers there. Thank you. Let's see here. Scott sends in a question. Says start 3, full PPR, Curtis Samuel, Kenyan Drake, Jamaal Williams, Brian Robinson. Yeah. In a full PPR, Scott, even with Curtis Samuel being the only wide receiver there, I significantly prefer the 3 running backs. I'd play Kenyan Drake. I'd play Jamaal Williams. I'd play Brian Robinson. Appreciate that. Tony Telford says, start a tight end this week, full PPR. In Njoku or Cole Kmet, I'd still play Cole Kmet this week. Thank you. Marion Garcia says, do you like Higgins rest season full PPR? Yes, I do. Even with Jamar Chase coming back, I think the return of Jamar Chase actually improves the potential of T. Higgins. Because when you have Jamar Chase on the other side of the field, it is pulling number 1 cornerback coverage, which opens up more opportunity on the opposite side of the field for Higgins. Bald God says Ayuk, Moore, or Pickens this week in a full PPR. I'd play Ayuk there. Thank you very much. Gaga says, What's up, bro? I'm dumpster diving for flex options this week. We have Wan'Dale Robinson, Curtis Samuel, or Devin Duvernay. Devin Duvernay is the play in my mind, especially in a half PPR scoring format where we can't rely upon receiving potential of just pure receptions to be a difference maker. And considering the overall target opportunity of these prospects, Wan'Dale Robinson, Curtis Samuel, Duvernay, they're very similar. So I'm going to play Duvernay because he has that touchdown upside ability, and of course they get him utilized in the running game as well. D Brown says, PPR flex, Curtis Samuel, Gallup, Pitts, Latavius Murray, Cooks, or Kareem Hunt. Of the available, I'm fairly certain it's going to be Kyle Pitts or Brandon Cooks. Let me confirm this. It's a full PPR, right? Yeah, okay. So D Brown, the suggestion from me, let me see where Pitts is in my full PPR rankings in comparison. So I have Kyle Pitts at 68. Where do I have the rest of the gang? I have Brandon Cooks at 83. I have Curtis Samuel at 79. Yeah, it's Kyle Pitts there. Kyle Pitts would be the suggestion. It is sketchy. I know it. Trust me, I'm aware. But I'm still rolling with it. Thank you. Let's see here. Play-by-play says start 2 in a full PPR scoring format. We have Kadarius, we have Keenan, we have Debo, we have Brian Robinson. Good question. Let's see if Brian Robinson's higher ranked than Keenan. Brian Robinson. I have Brian Robinson at 44 in a full PPR. Where's Keenan Allen? Keenan Allen's 37. So at this point, the suggestion would be Kadarius Toney and Keenan Allen in a full PPR this week. Thank you. Landon Ramirez says, can I pivot? Okay, I can't pivot from Hollywood Brown. Do I trust it? Question mark. I have Gabriel Davis, Michael Pittman Jr., and Boyd as my other wide receivers. Already starting Jay Jets and Tony. Yeah, at this point, in your position, considering you have Gabriel Davis, who is quite literally ranked right next to Marquise Hollywood Brown in my rankings that you guys can see on screen, I would much rather just play Gabriel Davis and take the safe play today because you don't have a pivoting option. So why risk it when you got a player that's literally only one rank lower than him? Even if you had a guy like, if you were deciding, hey, Andrew, I don't have a pivoting option. I have Keenan Allen. I have Garrett Wilson. Do I play them or Marquise Brown? Just play the guy today. Play him today. Don't worry about it. Let's see here. We had Jay sending the question. Says half PPR. Pick 2. Mooney, Sutton, Duvernay. Yeah, it's Mooney and Sutton there for sure. I see your rankings, but my league counts return yards, 1 point for 15 yards. Does that give a bump to Duvernay? You know what? It does. Let me look into this. Devin Duvernay stats. Let's go to Pro Football Reference real quick, and let's see his return yardage here. So in the last couple weeks, okay, so here's the issue that I'm finding, right? Last game that Devin Duvernay played against New Orleans, prior to the bye week, he had 0 returns. Is that because of the kicking game? Because he's probably still the primary kick returner. My issue is, so like, oh man, he gets a lot of return yardage. Holy moly. In some of these games, he's getting like 100 yards in just pure return yardage. Ooh-wee. Is that enough of a risk play to take him over potentially Mooney or Sutton? Yeah, at this point, I'd play Sutton and Duvernay at that point. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Jay. Thank you very much. Paul Beauchamp says, start DeAndre Hopkins. Trust that DeAndre Hopkins plays, question mark, or put in Gabe Davis or Jacoby Myers in his place. Man, I mean, I trust that he's going to play. Let me give you the experience of Andrew, okay? DeAndre Hopkins will always play hurt. Always, okay? If given the opportunity, he will play injured. That is the MO of DeAndre Hopkins. He is a tough son of a gun. So even if he's dealing with a hamstring strain, the guy's going to be out there. He is. Purely, he's going to be out there. So at this moment, yes, I expect him to play. Is he going to be at a full capacity? I don't know. I don't know what his health looks like. He could be perfect. He could be in shambles. I don't know. But because he's DeAndre Hopkins, I got to roll with him, right? Appreciate it. But again, yeah, throughout his entire career, no matter what, this man will play injured. It is only when he has to go to the injured reserve that he actually doesn't play. Or he's suspended. I mean, one of the two. Appreciate that. Vowed on Film says Schultz is a safer play than Kmet, half PPR and standard. In a half PPR, yes. In a standard format, no. Kmet has more touchdown upside, and in comparison would be a better play in a standard format. In a half PPR, I'd rather have Schultz. In a full PPR, I'd rather have Schultz. Thank you. Tommy Zoo sends in a question. Tommy, where the heck did it go? Tommy says David Njoku or Michael Pittman Jr. Which one do I start? I play Michael Pittman Jr. there. Thank you. Simply Rager says, what do you think about OBJ? What team do you think OBJ goes to? And would it be better for him to go to the Giants or the Cowboys? It would be significantly better for him to go to the Cowboys because it's a significant. I mean, just thinking about the quarterback play at this current moment in time. Dak Prescott versus Daniel Jones. We all know the answer here. Dak Prescott is the better passing quarterback, right? The way that this offense is constructed is to pass the ball far more. So the hope is that he signs with the Cowboys. And if he does, he could very easily be a top 24 wide receiver for the remainder of the season. Fingers crossed he becomes that. As for your follow-up question there, simply says, also full PPR Diggs, Marquise Brown, Thielen versus Sutton, Boyd, Jamaal Williams. What are we talking about? Are we just talking about straight trades, or which side do we rather play? Because at this point, I'd rather have the side with Diggs there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Omar says, Campbell, Sutton, Sanders, full PPR. It's my team. I'm rolling out Campbell, number 1, Sutton, number 2, Sanders, number 3. Appreciate that, Omar. Thank you. William Hess says, Keenan Allen or Rondell Moore full PPR. I'd rather play Keenan Allen there. The only reason I would ever play Rondell Moore there is if we knew for a fact that, Marquise Hollywood Brown or DeAndre Hopkins was going to miss. That's the only way I would ever play Rondell Moore over Keenan Allen this week. And considering we don't have that information available, considering they play on Monday night, you just have to play Keenan and roll with it. Thank you. Rob Frank, I see that you sent in something. Let me go ahead. What time is it? It's almost 9. Okay, so at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Andrew will be mentioning top 12 kickers and defenses once again. For those of you who are just joining us, again, rankings are on screen. They are, as of this morning, updated for a half PPR scoring format. Top 36 running backs, wide receivers, top 16 quarterbacks, and tight ends. If you guys are at work, if you're at church, if you're at something, I don't know. Do people pull out phones at church? Is that how it works? I don't know. Somebody tell me. But if you guys are not home and you are on mobile and you're watching the stream, there are rankings in the description of the video just in case that the text on screen is too small. So you can go down there, scroll down, and then check the rankings accordingly. But again, like it says on screen, like Noah's asking a question, Freiermuth or Komet this week. Komet is higher on my rankings. That's, therefore we'd roll with him as my suggestion. Ayuk or Pierce. That's not on the screen, but hey, if I was to answer that question, let's look that up. I baited myself into answering that question, huh? I thought it was Alec Pierce for a second, and I realized he meant actually Dameon Pierce. Currently, Ayuk is my number 35 in the flex, and I have Pierce, Dameon Pierce at 32. So yeah, I'd play Dameon Pierce there. Thank you. Alrighty. So let's see here. Where are we at? So Rob Frank, if you could do me a favor, I saw that you sent in something, but there isn't your question in the messages because it's updated as to when you last sent it. So if you could do me a favor, Rob, and type that in, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let me see. Did I miss anybody else in the prior questions that I answered? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. We took care of all of that. Nothing there. Awesome. Good to go. Anybody else we were missing? I think we took care of those. Rob Frank says 2 of them. What does that mean, Rob? Just type your message in again. Whatever your question was, just type it in again. Even if there's 2 questions, just send them back to back, and I'll answer them. Thank you. Okay, we took care of those. Okay, so let me go ahead and let me just catch up while Rob sends those in. Actually, you know what? Before we even go there, I'll give Rob some time. As I mentioned, my top 12 kickers and defenses for week 11, shall we? Okay. So, like I was mentioning, every 30 minutes we'll mention these. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about these. Top 12 kickers and defenses. We're going to go top to bottom, number 1 through 12 at defense first and foremost. Here we go. Number 1 defense on the week, New England Patriots. Number 2, Baltimore Ravens. Number 3, New York Jets. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. Number 5, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 6, San Francisco 49ers. Number 7, Washington Commanders. Number 8, Los Angeles Rams. Number 9, Dallas Cowboys. Number 10, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 11, Denver Broncos. Number 12, New Orleans Saints. Moving on, let's talk about top 12 kickers. Number 1, Justin Tucker. Number 2, Tyler Bass. Number 3, Nick Folk. Number 4, Graham Gano. Number 5, Daniel Carlson. Number 6, Robbie Gould. Number 7, Evan McPherson. Number 8, Brett Maher. Number 9, Younghoe Koo. Number 10, Harrison Butker. Number 11, Cameron Dicker. Number 12, Greg Zuerlein. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of understanding. If you need me to repeat it, you can always rewind again. Takes a couple seconds, bada boom. Keep moving. All right, Rob. I don't understand why you keep typing 2 of them. I'm so confused. All right, I'll just wait and see if Rob has a question later. Max sends in a question, says, full PPR, pick 2, Pacheco, Amari, or Foreman. In a full PPR, it's Amari Cooper and Foreman. Thank you. Chase sends in a question, says, Hollywood over DJ Moore? Yes, I would. Gibson over Foreman. Gibson over Foreman. In a full PPR, yes. In a half standard, I wouldn't. Thank you. Anonymous says, Gallup, Duvernay, or Mitchell in a half PPR. Thank you very much. Gallup, Duvernay, Mitchell. I think it's between, it's definitely between Duvernay and Mitchell. I just don't know where I would have. Let's see here. Where do I have them ranked as of this morning? So I have Elijah Mitchell at number 62. Where do I have Devin Duvernay? Devin Duvernay would be in a half PPR lower. So yeah, it's Elijah Mitchell is my suggestion there. Thank you very much, Anonymous. Moving on from Anonymous, we have the question from Matthew Rosado. Says, I meant Deontay Johnson or Allen Robinson. Okay, let me go back up, Matthew, and let me see where your what exactly your question was. D Johnson or Devonta Smith. So you actually meant Deontay Johnson or Allen Robinson, correct? Okay, so if that's the case, Matthew, in a half PPR, like it says on screen, I currently have Allen Robinson ahead of Deontay Johnson. That's what I'm going with. Thank you. Appreciate it. Dominique Rad sends in a question. Says, full PPR pick 3. We have T. Higgins, DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Brown, James Conner. Okay, I think this is very easy for me specifically. In a full PPR scoring format, Dominique, I would play T. Higgins and AJ Brown for sure, without a doubt. Then the determining factor is between James Conner and DeAndre Hopkins. So if, for example, you have 2 starting wide receivers, you put it as T. Higgins and you put it as AJ Brown for today. And your flex, you currently put in as DeAndre Hopkins. Tomorrow, if we show up and DeAndre Hopkins is somehow, somewhat inactive, which I doubt, but let's say he is, then you would pivot James Conner in his place because they play in the same game, same offense. But otherwise, the hope is to play T. Higgins, AJ Brown as number 1 and number 2 wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins in the flex with the pivoting option of Conner. Thank you. Let's see here. Where art thou? Let's see. Where is... Okay, so after Dominique's question, we had John H. John H says half PPR. Start 2, Debo, Mike Williams, Cordarrelle Patterson, Boyd. I would play Michael Williams and Cordarrelle Patterson this week. Thank you. iShine101 says pick 2, Drake London, Curtis Samuel, Brandon Cooks. Drake London and Curtis Samuel are higher on my rankings. Thank you. Michael DeSanti says full PPR, Dulcich or Nico Collins in the flex. I'd rather play Nico Collins. Thank you. Bradley Davis says pick 3, start AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Keenan Allen, Boyd, Devonta Smith, Paris Campbell, full PPR. I would rather play Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, and Paris Campbell in a full PPR. Thank you. Markel Adams says sit 1, Tony or Pittman or the Sun God. I would sit Pittman this week. I'd play Tony and the Sun God. D Brown says full PPR, wide receiver 1. Wide receiver pick 1. We have Dotson or waiver wired one of these following options where we have Demarcus Robinson, Alec Pierce, that's Terrace Marshall, Osborne, Carter, Jennings, etc. I would rather play Terrace Marshall over the group. I have Terrace Marshall ranked the highest. Alec Pierce is the next highest. Thank you. Let me see here. What is this notification? We're good to go. Anything from Ian Rappaport as of late? Let me go ahead and let me look this up. Let me go to Twitter real quick just to see if the guy has any other tweets that is relevant to us as of this morning. AJ Terrell is active. That's good. That means he's giving up more yardage. Okay, we're good to go. All right, awesome. So, moving on. What else do we have here? So we had Paris Lark sends in a question, says Michael Williams or Connor in a half PPR? Good question. I think it's going to be Michael Williams, but I can confirm this. Let's go half PPR. Let's go to my flex rankings. We have Mike Williams at 24, and we have James Conner at 33. So I'm playing Mike Williams there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Luke Eden says full PPR, D'Onta Foreman or Chris Olave in the flex. Let's check this out. Full PPR. Let's go. Let's look up Olave. Where is he in my Patreon rankings? Olave at 54, and Foreman is at 49. I play Foreman. Thank you. Alrighty. Let's see here. Some people in the chat were asking Slayton or Pickens in a full PPR. I'd rather play Pickens there. Ethan, Nico Collins or Chase Claypool. Jesus Rivera. I'd rather play Nico Collins. Can't trust Cordarrelle rolling with Brian Robinson. That's fine by me, Riles. I don't have a problem with that in any sort of capacity. Again, you guys are the GMs of your team. You make that final decision. You can take all the information that I give you, but at the end of the night, you got to make your decision. You got to lock that in, and let's hope that it goes well, man. Let's go. I'm hoping both play well. Quite frankly, I'm hoping every player on the screen plays well. I want the highest scoring fantasy point week of all time every single week, but it's not always the case, unfortunately. Ace Jenkins says, where are the flex rankings? Those are on Patreon. If you're interested, there's a link down in the description. You can check that out and support. Thank you very much. Half PPR drop Pickens for Campbell. I would, Derek. Yeah, I would definitely, I would do that for sure. Especially the way that Campbell's playing with Matt Ryan in the last 3 games. If you guys go and look at his box scores in the last 5 contests, of course, excluding the 2 with Sam Ehlinger, he's a 15+ point guy. You know what I mean? Let's see here. What else we have in the chat? MVS or Gallup? I'm playing MVS there fast. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Let me go back into this. Okay, so Zach Koo sent in a donation. Thank you very much. The standard league, Andrew. Pick 2. We need to play Amon-Ra, Kenyan Drake, or Gabe Davis. Why do you got to do this to me? Man, in a standard format, I don't know if I can trust Amon-Ra if he doesn't score a touchdown there, right? So if he scores a touchdown, he could definitely be a better play. But as of right now, yeah, you know what? As of right now, I'm probably playing Kenyan Drake and Gabe Davis there, my guy. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Let me see. Rob, did you end up sending in a question? Thank you. Okay, so Rob Frank says, half PPR, Devonta Smith or Keenan Allen? As of right now, I'm playing Keenan Allen there. I like Devonta Smith a lot, but if Keenan Allen's at a full capacity on Friday practicing and he's playing tonight, which he is, I would rather roll with him. Thank you. All right, so we have, where was that follow-up question? It was from Nick Bishop. Let's go ahead. Let's see where Nick Bishop is in the chat. Nick Bishop. Kate Bishop. Flex 1 in a full PPR, says Nick. 12-team league. We have Miles Sanders, Michael Pittman Jr., Cole Kmet, D'Onta Foreman. So in a full PPR 12-team league, the question is Cole Kmet lower or higher ranked than Miles Sanders? You know what? He might be higher ranked. I'm not even exaggerating this. Let's see here. Cole Kmet is there. No, he's not higher than Miles Sanders. I have Miles Sanders as my number 40 in a full PPR. I have Cole Kmet as my number 43. I have Michael Pittman Jr. actually higher as well. It's only in a half PPR that Michael Pittman Jr. is. Okay, so Michael Pittman Jr. is the play there. Out of the group, he's the highest ranked, Nick. Thank you. Appreciate that. In the chat, why do you have Paris Campbell so high? Should I start Paris Campbell over Slayton? Yes, you should. Okay, Christian, if you could do me a favor. I know it's tough, but if you go to my Wednesday wide receiver video, there's a lot of context there. There's a lot of information that I give that I can repeat here once again, yes, but I also got to catch up on some of the questions that I haven't caught up on. So go check out that video, put it on 1.5 times speed, and there's timestamps in the description. You can click on it, boom, get that answer, good to go. Okay. Awesome. KO74089 says, Sutton or Keenan Allen today? I'm going to play Sutton. Thank you. Nathan J says, would you go with Isaiah McKenzie, Ben Skoranek, or Terrace Marshall in a standard? As of right now, I have Terrace Marshall ranked the highest of the 3 in a standard. I have Josh Allen and Gabe Davis starting already. Yeah, I'd still play Terrace Marshall there. Thank you. Kyle Strobel says, PPR, should I go with Keenan Allen, Foreman, or do I go with Allen Robinson? Great question. I think it's a matter of just Keenan Allen versus Foreman. Allen Robinson's kind of the lone man out of this conversation. Where the heck is Foreman compared to Keenan Allen? I have Keenan Allen ahead of him. So I play Keenan Allen this week. Thank you, Kyle. Israel Trejo says, pick 1 in a full PPR, Andrew. Tony or Rondale Moore or Deontay Johnson. I'd play Kadarius Toney this week. Thank you. Appreciate that. The person formerly known as Tom, thank you very much, says, Kmet or Andrews this week. I don't trust Andrews. Really? You don't trust Andrews? Listen, if it's my team, I'm playing Andrews 10 times out of 10 over Cole Kmet. If you'd like to play Cole Kmet, again, that's your prerogative. You're the GM of your team. Make that decision. But if you're asking for my suggestion, it's to play Mark Andrews. As for your follow-up question, Foreman or Cordarrelle Patterson, I'd rather play Cordarrelle Patterson. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The guy formerly known as Tom. Johannes Gasman says, full PPR, Boyd or Kmet? I'm fairly certain I have Boyd ahead of him. I could be wrong. Let's check. We have Tyler Boyd at number 36, Cole Kmet at 43. Yeah, we're playing Tyler Boyd there. Thank you. Bill says, half PPR, Marquise Hollywood Brown or Devin Duvernay? It is 100% Marquise Hollywood Brown this week. Thank you. Adam says, full PPR, rank start Foreman, Boyd, Singletary, Campbell. In a full PPR scoring format, I would start Campbell, I would start Boyd, and then I'd go Foreman, and then I'd go Singletary. So Campbell and Boyd are the 1-2 if you need 2 options. Alex Olivas says, Andrew, in a half PPR scoring format, last flex spot, is it Zeke, Latavius, DPJ, or Kyler Murray? What? I'm confused. I have Kenyan Drake in my other spot. Thanks. Did you meant to say Kyler Murray? There's no way you meant to say Kyler Murray. You meant like Latavius Murray, right? Because if Kyler Murray is available to you for your flex spot, it's a super flex, you're absolutely playing him without a doubt. You know what I mean? So hopefully we're good to go there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're good to go there. Just like, I mean, again, let's say you didn't mean to say Kyler Murray. Let's say you meant to actually say Latavius Murray. I play DPJ in that flex spot. Okay, thank you. Tyler says, hey, Andrew, I'm 8-2 and I'm in first place in a 12-team half PPR league. My wide receivers are Justin Jefferson, Adams, Godwin, and Tony. Okay, good wide receiver core there. Would you trade Adams and Tony for Tyreek Hill? Yeah, I would. Give me Tyreek Hill rest of the season. Thank you. Fan First says, Gibson or Foreman, full PPR. I'd rather play Gibson. Thank you. Will Taylor, full PPR, start 2, Kamara, Montgomery, Mixon, Rhamondre. Kamara, Montgomery, Mixon, Rhamondre. Yeah, at this point, I'm playing Mixon and I'm playing Rhamondre as my 1 and 2 combo there. I'm benching Montgomery and Kamara. Thank you very much, Will. As for your follow-up question, though, Keenan Allen, Olave, or St. Brown, start 2 of them. I would play Keenan Allen and I'd play St. Brown. Thank you. Tyler T says, what are your thoughts on Njoku with Watson back? If you there is a very long explanation for that. If you go to my preseason video, no, I'm just kidding. I won't send you all the way back there. He's just as good with Watson. If you go back to the seasons in which Watson was playing with Houston, his target opportunity for tight ends, whether it was guys like Jordan Akins or I forget the other guy's name, Darren Fells, Jordan Akins and Darren Fells. If you go look at those guys' statistics in those last couple years in Houston with what's his name, Deshaun Watson, they were combining for like 800 yards, 10 touchdowns as a duo. You funnel that into one tight end by the name of David Njoku, a vertical receiving threat. He's just as good with or without, whether it's with Jacoby or with Deshaun Watson. Thank you. Alrighty. Vikings or 49ers defense, says Wallace in the chat. Currently, it's the 49ers. John says defenses, if you can read them. Yeah, let's just do it right now. Forget it. Let's do it. I don't mind. Somebody in the chat, Jay Woods, was saying Pollard or Gibson in the flex. I'd rather play Pollard. Again, guys, for those of you who are joining us, rankings on screen are up to date, ready to go for a half PPR scoring format. And I understand that's difficult for a half versus a full or a standard league, but just want to meet everyone in the middle. Bada boom, it is as such on screen. So if you have a question like Pollard versus Gibson, Pollard is significantly higher than Gibson, so that should answer that. Adam in the chat was asking, Trey McBride worth the gamble? Probably not. I don't know if he can. If we have Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, and Rondale Moore all active tomorrow, do we think Trey McBride is really going to pull much of those target opportunities? I don't think he will. I think he'll certainly be in the conversation of being a top 20 tight end, but I don't think he's a startable one as of yet. All right, let's talk about kickers and defenses, right? Let's just do this real quickly. Again, I've jumped 15 minutes prior to when I'm supposed to give them out, but we'll just give it at 9:15, then we'll once again give it at 9:45. All right, here we go. Top 12 defenses for the week. Patriots as number 1. Number 2, Ravens. Number 3, Jets. Number 4, Bills. Number 5, Eagles. Number 6, 49ers. Number 7, Commanders. Number 8, Rams. Number 9, Cowboys. Number 10, Bengals. Number 11, Broncos. Number 12, Saints. As for kickers, we have number 1, Tucker. Number 2, Bass. Number 3, Folk. Number 4, Gano. Number 5, Carlson. Number 6, Gould. We have number 7, McPherson. Number 8, Maher. Number 9 is Koo. Number 10 is Butker. Number 11 is Dicker. And number 12 is Zerline. Thank you. Alrighty. Back into catching up. Hopefully your boy can catch up real quickly here. So we did fam first question. We did Will Taylor. We did okay, so definitely not an athlete sends in a question. Says, yo, happy football Sunday, bro. Yes, very, very happy football Sunday. Hopefully we get an actual good Sunday. I don't want missed field goals. I don't want to miss PATs. I don't want interceptions, okay? I want the scores to be 35-45 every single game. Could we get that? Please. That's what we'd like to see. Anyway, I'm in a must win or I'm out kind of situation. Flex full PPR, Jamaal Williams, Keenan Allen, Rondale Moore, Marquise Hollywood-Brown, or Brandon Ayuk. Great question. My position right now would be to play either Ayuk or Marquise Hollywood-Brown. We get to Monday, tomorrow. If Marquise is active, you play him. If he's not, you play Ayuk. I think those are your two best options this week. Or you play Rondale Moore. Again, there's a toss-up there, but I'm going with one of those three options on Monday. Thank you. Preferably in the order that they are shown on screen. Assuming like if Marquise is out, then you go to Ayuk. Thank you. Gildo sends in a question. Says, full PPR, Swift, Singletary, Devonta Smith. If I'm playing one, I think it's Singletary. I could be mistaken, but I'm fairly sure I have Singletary ahead of Devonta Smith. Currently, Devonta Smith's higher. Devonta Smith 47, Singletary 53. All right, let's take Devonta Smith. Let's hope he has a massive week. And the reason why, guys, I go and I look at my full PPR rankings is because after I do all the research over the course of Saturday, I set up the rankings at like 3 a.m. So I fell asleep at probably like 4, got up at 7, good to go, bada boom, popped onto the stream. I trust the Andrew of about 6 hours ago with all the caffeine that was injected into him to get the decision right. So I default to the Andrew of 6 hours ago. That's why I look at my PPR rankings in Patreon. Thank you. Let's see here. Jay Nice says, Chubb, Singletary, Heineke, Debo, Ayuk, Andrews, Nick Folk, Watson, Philly defense, bench is OBJ, Tua, Isiah Pacheco, Lockett standard. PPR suggestion moving forward. In terms of moving forward, considering you have Lockett there, that's going to come off the bench. You have Tua there, you have OBJ there. The only thing that I'm purely thinking that you need, well, actually you're in a standard, it's a PPR league. My apologies, it's a PPR league. I think your biggest improvement that you need to make, if you can still make trades, is getting Ayuk or Debo off the team. You got to get one of them off the team. I don't want to play both of them every week. I think it's too sketchy because once you have Lockett back, you're going to have to pick between Debo and Ayuk every single week, and that in itself is going to be a headache. So I want to move one of those guys. I probably want to move Debo with Singletary. Go get a running back. Go get Dameon Pierce. Specifically, go get D'Onta Foreman after this week because after this week, he'll probably have a little bit of doubt in the mind of people that, maybe I want to sell him. Boom, buy him. Fantasy playoff, big boost. Moving on. Randy Fernandez says, bench one, Swift, Myers, Pacheco. If I'm sitting one, it is going to be Swift this week. Thank you. I'd play Myers and Pacheco over him. Romans 828 says, choose two. Deontay Johnson, Freiermuth, Keenan Allen, Rondale Moore. I'd rather, the two that I'm picking to play this week are Rondale Moore and Keenan Allen. Thank you very much, Romans. Ryan D says, full PPR. Rondale, Swift, Brown, Dulcich, Cooks. I mean, at this point, I think it's pretty simple. Just want to confirm. Besides, okay, so I'm going to assume, okay, this is my assumption. Ryan, when you say Rondale, Swift, Brown, when you say Brown, I'm assuming that's either Marquise Brown, AJ Brown, or Amon-Ra St. Brown. And either way, I'm playing whoever Brown is with Rondale Moore in a full PPR. Thank you. Troy Porsche says, should I start Kenyan Drake over Jamaal Williams and Michael Carter or D'Onta Foreman in a non-PPR? I'd still play D'Onta Foreman there. Is Sutton a start for the rest of the season? He's a start for the rest of the season under the assumption that Russell Wilson doesn't, forget that he's on the offense and down the field. As for Kenyan Drake versus Jamaal Williams, you can play him over him. I don't mind it. Am I going to do that? I don't mind it. Again, I'm not 100% bought in on the idea of doing so because, again, the last time we saw Kenyan Drake play, or the last two times we saw him play, big performance, and then the other one was a matter of Gus Edwards getting hurt in that game and leaving, and then him scoring a receiving touchdown. If the touchdown is going to be there for Kenyan Drake, he's the better play. But it's a matter of, is the touchdown going to be there? So I'm thinking Jamaal Williams is far more inclined to get that goal line opportunity and score in comparison. Thank you. Walt Murph says, Pacheco or Allen? Full PPR. I would play Allen this week in a full PPR scoring format over Isiah Pacheco. Dylan Waycaster says, start one in a full PPR. Sutton, Gabe Davis, Tony, or Wilson. Of the available options, I'm playing Tony. Then I'm playing Gabe Davis. Then I'm playing Sutton, then Wilson in that order. Thank you. Troy Porsche says, is Marquise Brown a start this week over Sutton or Tony if he plays? Not over Tony. You can play him over Sutton, but that's assuming he plays, and if you have a pivoting option to be able to play him on Monday night. If you don't have a pivoting option and it's not as solidified, just play Tony and play Sutton, and you're good to go. Thank you. Darren Sims says, standard league, Brian Robinson, Kenyan Drake, Cordarrelle Patterson. Thank you very much. In a standard scoring format, I think I'm still probably rolling with Cordarrelle Patterson there. Maybe I won't. Let me think about this. If it's just pure yeah, Cordarrelle Patterson is not going to get receiving work. I don't even have that inclined in my overall predictions. And yeah, I'm still going Cordarrelle there. If you want to play one of the other options, you can. I think they're all three great options. There's a reason why they're all top 20 running backs in my rankings this week. Thank you. Real Cole Grant says, half PPR, Pollard or David Montgomery? Wait. Half PPR, Pollard and David Montgomery for Amari Cooper? No. I'd rather keep the running backs. Thank you. Andrew Mitchell says, half PPR, roll with Brian Robinson or Hollywood Brown with the Ayuk pivot. In a half PPR, I'd rather roll with the... Ooh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I'd probably roll with the Ayuk pivot. That's kind of the position that I'm in. In my mind, I think that's yeah, I'd probably rather go with the pivot. I think there's more upside there. I do like Brian Robinson. I just think there's if Marquise Hollywood Brown comes back and is anything that he was prior to where he left, he gets those kind of targets, he finds the end zone, pulling number 2 secondary coverage. I mean, he's going to be hard to stop, guys. Rob Frank sent in another thing. Let's see here, Rob. Where you at, my man? All right, Rob Frank, let's see here. Says Elijah Mitchell or TJ Hawkinson, Dalton Schultz, Devonta Smith, Dameon Harris in a half PPR pick 3. Okay, cool. Actually, I like this. Dalton Schultz, number 1. Devonta Smith, number 2. And the question is it Elijah Mitchell or is it TJ Hawkinson as the third option here? Where's Hawkinson in my ranking? TJ Hawkinson is here. Elijah Mitchell is lower than him in my rankings. There you go. So my suggestion for you, Rob Frank, would be to play Hawkinson, Schultz, and Devonta Smith. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Alrighty. DD sends in a question. Says, half PPR, please please finish the lineup. Already played Aaron Jones and Lazard. I have 1 running back spot available, 1 wide receiver spot, and 2 flex spots available. We have Debo, Mike Williams, Jamaal Williams, Zeke, Devontae Smith, and Tony Pollard. Okay. Your running back spot goes to Tony Pollard. Your wide receiver spot goes to Mike Williams. And your 2 flex spots go to Debo Samuel and Jamaal Williams. Thank you. Wait, is it Debo? Wait. What are we talking about? Half PPR, right? Okay, so it's actually Devonta Smith and Jamaal Williams. Debo sits on the bench. Thank you. Chris Curry says half PPR. Mike Williams, Tony, McLaurin. Pick 2. Mike Williams, Tony, McLaurin. Yeah, at this point, I would be playing Tony and I'll play McLaurin. Those are the 2 that I roll with in a half PPR. Thank you. I know it's on screen, but I'm worried about Washington running game or running the ball 500 times. I mean, look, at this point, if you're worried about it, go with your gut feeling. Mike Williams is literally right next to him in my rankings, so just roll with it. Again, I'm not gonna convince you to play one over the other when they're literally next to each other in my rankings, because I already know the way that you feel. Immediately having any hesitation on the matter, even if I tell you to play McLaurin, you're not gonna want to play McLaurin. You want to play Mike Williams, so play Mike Williams. Let's do it. I'm fine with that. I don't have any problem with that. Meant to say Curtis, not Debo in the last question, says Pedro Lucario. Let's see here, Pedro. Where are you at, my man? Where is that prior question, man? That was a while back, huh? That was like an hour ago at this point. Pedro, where art thou? So you meant to say Curtis, not Debo. Aha. Wait. Meant Curtis, not Debo. Okay, got it. So if we're talking about Samuel, Dalton, and Pacheco, yeah, give me Dalton and Pacheco. I'm not playing Curtis Samuel. I'd rather play Debo. I'm not playing Curtis. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification as well. Helps a lot. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at? So after we're almost caught up. Here we go. Docs Talks VODs says, should I gamble on K1, which is Kyler Murray? It locks me into McCoy. I have Nuke. I'm also considering starting Russ. I'm not even joking. If in fact this week Kyler Murray was already deemed out, I would have Colt McCoy higher ranked than Russell Wilson. That's how confident I am with Colt McCoy. So I'd play Colt McCoy even if in fact we get to Monday and Murray somehow is out, which he won't be. But yes, I would take the quote unquote gamble, which I don't think there really is much. Alex Nava. Alex, I like your profile picture of the doggo. Full PPR, pick a wide receiver 2. Should I start Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, or Curtis Samuel or Keenan Allen? Of the available players that you have, as a wide receiver 2, I'm playing Keenan Allen there. Thank you. Adam Pearl says, Komet over Andrews to hedge against Fields. No, just play Andrews. You don't have to hedge over against anybody. If you want to play Kmet as a flex option in your league, you certainly can, but I'm playing Andrews over him. Austin sends in a question, says 12-team Superflex full PPR. I have Hurts, I have AJ, I have Kirk, I have JJ, I have King Henry, Hilliard, Singletary, Madison, Sutton, Olave. I traded Kelsey and Connor away for Andrews and Dalvin Cook. What do you think about the trade? I think it's pretty even. Again, I do prefer Kelsey over Andrews, but not at a significant enough margin. And I think that Dalvin Cook, quite frankly, I think the separation between Dalvin Cook and Connor is actually probably more than the separation between Andrews and Kelsey. So, to be honest, you probably have the better half of this trade in my mind. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate it. Trayvon Gibbons sends in a question. Gibbons says, full PPR, Boyd, Mike Williams, Pittman, Palmer, Carter, Mooney. In a full PPR scoring format this week, I would rather play Mike Williams first and foremost. If I have a second option that I have to play out of those group of players, it's between Pittman and Boyd in my eyes. Specifically, I have Tyler Boyd at 8. Yeah, I have Tyler Boyd ranked higher in a full PPR. So it would be Williams and Boyd. Thank you. So Vici Asok, hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. Says, full PPR, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex. We have Dalvin Cook, we have Gibson, we have Drake, we have CEH, we have Okay. We got a lot of players here, huh? We have Deontay Johnson, we have Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks. Okay, cool. So, 2 wide receivers. My primary 2 suggestions are Jacoby Myers and Keenan Allen. 1 and 2, boom, boom. 2 running backs, Dalvin Cook and Kenyan Drake. Boom, boom. As for your singular flex, I'm playing Antonio Gibson there. So, again, it is Allen, Myers, Cook, Drake, Gibson. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Sip sends in a question, says full PPR, Mooney, Campbell, Rondale Moore. Pick 2. At this point, yeah, in a full PPR, I'm still playing Campbell and Rondale Moore. Thank you. D. Brown says Hurst, Samuel, Cooks. Full PPR. Fairly certain that, I could, I'm going Hayden Hurst there. Thank you. Vic84 says full PPR, flex, Thielen or Njoku. Washington or Dallas defense. I prefer Washington's defense over Dallas. As for Thielen or Njoku, I think I have Njoku. You know what? I could be wrong. I think I have him below Thielen in my rankings, but I could be wrong. Let's see here. I do not. Do I not? I do not. I literally have David Njoku on a full PPR basis, 55 on my top 100, and I have Adam Thielen at 57. So we're going David Njoku there, huh? David Njoku it is in a full PPR. Jayon sends in a question. Says, thoughts on Slayton since Wan'Dale is playing? Slayton still has similar value. I don't believe that the Wan'Dale Robinson in or out determines the overall potential of Slayton because they play different positions. Slayton plays out wide. Wan'Dale plays in the slot. So it doesn't make a difference to me. Justin sends in a question. Says, Fields or Hurts this week? You can see it on screen. I have Justin Herbert as my number 1 quarterback this week. I'm rolling with him. Thank you. Berlin B, hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. Says, should Nick Folk be ranked so high with the wind? I moved him down in comparison. I had him as my number 1 ranked kicker in the week. I moved him down because of said wind. Again, if you want to adjust it accordingly and go elsewhere, you certainly can. I currently feel comfortable with it. I don't have a problem with it. Thank you. Justin sends in a question. Says, half PPR, Hollywood, Keenan Allen, and Allen Robinson, Michael Carter. So if we're starting 2 out of the 4 options, it's Hollywood and Keenan Allen without a doubt in my mind. Boom, boom, said it. Moving on, we had a question that came in from Ray Lomas. It says, full PPR, flexing Rondale Moore, Thielen, or Curtis Samuel. It's Rondale Moore there in a full PPR, then Thielen second. Dalton Stafford says, full PPR, Keenan Allen, or trust Paris Campbell. I trust Paris Campbell. I trust Harvey Dent. Dawson Knox or Juwan Johnson. I'd play Dawson Knox there. I like Juwan Johnson's red zone upside and usage. Yes, I do too, but it's not a guarantee. That's the issue, right? You can roll with Juwan Johnson. I have him as my number 17th ranked tight end. I just don't know if it's a guarantee, especially considering the matchup against the Rams. They've been pretty good against opposing tight ends this year. So, yes, for sure we're playing Paris Campbell there. I like the suggestion of Knox, but you can go with Juwan if you'd like. Let's see here. Ado sends in a question. Ado says, start 2 in a half PPR, Debo, Terry, Hollywood, DJ Moore or Boyd. Of the available options, I'm playing Terry and I'm playing Hollywood. If you don't want to, yeah, I would play Terry and I play Hollywood. You get to Monday night. If Hollywood doesn't play, you pivot to Debo. Thank you. Justin says, I'm surprised about Slayton being outside of the top 36. Yeah, he moved slightly outside of it. Again, I don't trust that offense to throw the ball a lot. Last week's touchdown was a 40-yard, 3 guys missed tackles without Slayton really doing much, and he just ran down the sideline. So again, unless his target counts start to get a huge inflection of opportunity, it's going to be tough there. Inflection. I don't know what I'm doing. English is not my strongest suit here, guys. Thank you. Moving on. Tyron Smith says full PPR flex Garrett Wilson, Kenyan Drake, or Foreman. I'd play Kenyan Drake there. Thank you. HFL 5864 says, I need a flex full PPR. Ayuk, Boyd. I know that you have Ayuk higher in spot. Just give me some context and reasoning. Thank you very much. Yeah, at this point, the consistency of Ayuk over the course of the last 4 games is why he is as high as he is. He's had 4 consecutive games, 81 or more receiving yards, and 6+ catches in every single game. So in a full PPR scoring format, that's an automatic 14 points without even touchdown upside. He gets a touchdown, and quite frankly, it's a 20-point week. And I'm assuming he's going to continue that kind of consistent streak of opportunities that lead to his yardage and reception count. So that's why I'm going with him. We saw Terry Rice send in a question, said Michael Carter or Foster Moreau in a half PPR. I'm playing Michael Carter there. Thank you. Mostar says Cole Kmet or Dalton Schultz this week. If it's a standard league, I'd play Kmet. If it's a half PPR or full PPR, I'm playing Schultz. Thank you. 1023 Entertainment says Dak or Murray. I'm going to go Dak. Olave or Tony. I'm going Tony. Thank you. Nelson Rincon says full PPR. Pick 2, Sutton, Pittman, Ayuk, or Garrett Wilson. Sutton, Pittman, Ayuk, Garrett Wilson. Sutton and Pittman. No, it's Sutton and Ayuk. Those are the 1-2. Sutton, Ayuk. Thank you. Torod Taylor says Keenan Allen, Devonta Smith, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Van Jefferson. I'm playing Keenan Allen there. Thank you. We're almost caught up. Anthony sends in a question. Start 2 PPR, wide receiver flex. Okay, so start 2 wide receivers. Cool. My flex is currently filled with Rhamondre Stevenson. Who do you play the following? Olave, Sutton, DPJ, Hollywood, Rondell Moore, London, Garrett Wilson. Okay, so of your available options, I am playing Sutton and I am playing Hollywood. If we get to Monday night and Hollywood is not available, you play Rondell Moore instead and you're good to go 1,000%. So right now, for sure, Sutton and Hollywood with the potential pivoting option. Thank you. King says full PPR. Pick 1 to sit. We have Sutton, Gabe Davis, Jamaal Williams. If I'm sitting 1 in a full PPR, it's Jamaal Williams probably. Yeah, it is Jamaal Williams. Let me confirm this. Let me go full PPR. Let's look up Jamaal. Let me see where he has in comparison. So in comparison to, yeah, he is lower ranked. Thank you. Potatoes sends in a question. Potatoes with a Z. Full PPR, wide receiver 2, Michael Pittman Jr. or Kadarius Toney. I'd play Kadarius Toney again. Thank you. Alex Nava says full PPR, Knox or Dulcich. I'm going to go with Dulcich there. Thank you. CB says sit 1 in a full PPR, Sutton, Tony, Hopkins, Connor, Foreman. If I'm sitting 1 in a full PPR, it's Foreman there. Thank you. Joshua Pippin says full PPR, pick 2, Brian Robinson, Swift, Rondell Moore, Pacheco. If I'm starting 2 in those available options, I'm playing Brian Robinson and I'm playing Rondell Moore. Thank you. Riney 5. Let's see here, Riney. Where are you at? Riney, I don't see a question for you, my man. I don't know why I don't. Where are we? Okay, let me just check some things here really quickly. I think we're good to go here. Let me check something. I got to check some of my other fantasy lineups real quick, guys. Okay, so as of 1 minute ago, Marquise Hollywood Brown is not playing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to update the rankings on screen. Boom. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So if you guys had questions in regards to players that, again, or questions that, revolved around Marquise Hollywood Brown, I'm glad that we're in a position where we know that he's not playing. This is exactly why I said you need a pivoting option, right? Because there's a chance. And now that we've been given confirmation, we are lucky, quite frankly, that the information is coming out right now. we are very lucky that that is the case, because typically we'd be at the mercy of just getting screwed over on a Monday night. But considering we are in this position, we're in a good spot. Okay, so let me go ahead. Let me adjust the rankings. We'll throw up another wide receiver there, and we'll adjust everything accordingly. I need to move up Rondale Moore accordingly as well. So let me go ahead and let me mull this over in my mind as to where I want to move Rondale Moore accordingly. Let's go grab our number 37 wide receiver. 30. Okay, so Nico Collins is right outside of the bunch. We'll move in Nico Collins. We'll move out Marquise Brown. Move these guys up. And then I also need to move up Rondale Moore a couple spots here. I probably move him into a position where he is right. I mean, quite frankly, I think he's just there. Yeah, I'm moving it there. I think that's probably where I'd like to have him. Okay, we're gonna move that. Open up the Photoshop file and let's fire this up. Let me see this report. So it says Hollywood Brown will not play Monday night, according to the source. Awesome, we'll take it. I mean, hey, any information like that is beloved in the fantasy community. Boom, done. File, save as. Save this sucker as a JPEG, and we're good to go. Okay, save it to the desktop. We need to change it to a JPEG file, and we're set. Okay, so rankings are now updated, as of literally 9:38 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So as of this moment. So we have now adjusted the rankings. They should be up to date on screen. And if you had me suggest Mr. Marquise Hollywood Brown in a prior question, well, we're done with that. And my stream died. Why is my internet going out? What's going on here? Am I lagging? A little bit. It's okay. We'll be fine. Okay, I gotta catch up on some of these questions. Where did Ryan go? Ryan, you gotta send in a question, my guy, because there wasn't anything attached to it. Let's see here. Skills all day says Keenan Allen or Foreman in a full PPR. I play Keenan Allen there. Thank you. Noah says Jay Myers, Deontay Johnson, or Foreman this week. I'd play Jay Myers. As for your follow-up, Fields or Josh Allen, again, you go with whatever you'd like. I personally like Fields this week. David Ellie 4 says full PPR Olave or Cordarrelle. I'd play Olave there. I play Cordarrelle. My apologies. Austin Harrison says full PPR Ayuk or David Montgomery in a full PPR. Let me actually check my rankings. Where do I have Ayuk in comparison? I don't know if I have him ahead of him though. Where art thou? Ayuk sits. Yeah, no, I have David Montgomery ahead of him. Thank you. Matthew Krall says, we trusting Njoku. Yes, he's active. He's ready to go. I'm trusting him. Moving on, we have Amir Lorenz Sarif says, PPR, pick 2, Curtis Samuel, Hollywood Brown, Mooney, Allen Robinson. Considering there is no more Hollywood Brown, we are playing Mooney and Allen Robinson there. Pedro's Lucario says, flex, Gibson or Pacheco. I would play Gibson. Thank you. Moving on to Brian Colorado says, do I trade James Conner for Keenan Allen and Godwin? Yes, I would. Assuming you need wide receivers, of course, though. This is a vacuum question, but in a vacuum, assuming you need wide receivers, yes, I'll take the trade. Fanel Fabulas says, pick 3, full PPR, Sutton, Mike Williams, Davis, Pittman, Olave. I'm playing Davis, Williams, and Sutton there, Fanel. Thank you. Raul sends in a question, says, standard, pick 2, Jamaal, Swift, Pittman, Keenan, Devontae. In a standard format, I'm playing Jamaal Williams and Michael Pittman Jr. Thank you. Ray Lomas says Kyler Murray Monday or go with Mariota today. I'm comfortable going with Kyler Murray on Monday. I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem. I do not have a problem at all. What does it say on career answer? What is this? Why is this even a report? Like that's okay. That's a weird report. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm fine going with Murray as of tomorrow. There's not a problem with in my mind in terms of taking on the 49ers there. Chris Chich says full PPR Connor or Montgomery. Montgomery's higher in a full PPR. Pitts or Higbee. I'd still play Pitts. Thank you. Dominic Bueno says full PPR Pitts at my tight end. Do I drop Elijah Mitchell for Pat Freiermuth? Unless you are. I mean, is it that significant of a difference? No, I don't think so. At this point, if you're holding Elijah Mitchell as a handcuff for Christian McCaffrey and or a potential option for a future week because you have bye weeks that are going to impact you, I would keep Mitchell. Mohammed sends in a question. Idara says, full PPR. For my flex spot, I'm currently 5-5. What would you play? Olave, Dameon Pierce, Paris Campbell. This is a full PPR scoring format, huh? So at this point in a full PPR, I would play Paris Campbell in your flex. That's what I would do. Your second best option of the bunch would then be Gabriel Davis. But yes, Paris Campbell's number one. Thank you. Thomas Salvati says, does AJ Terrell affect Mooney? No, it actually makes it better. AJ Terrell was not good this season. Has not been good. He's been off the last couple weeks with injury, but when he has played, he's given up 7 touchdowns to opposing wide receivers already. So I don't think if anything, it makes it better for Mooney, but we'll see. Njoku or Pitts today? 1023 Entertainment says we're playing Njoku. Yeah. Ryan D says full PPR, Dulcich, Swift, or Cooks. If I'm playing one, it's probably just rolling with Brandon Cooks there. Thank you. AJDA or Ajda says flex, Rondale Moore, or Foreman in a full PPR. Considering the news that we do not have the activation of Marquise Hollywood Brown, give me Rondale Moore there. Thank you. Ali, UFC 4 ranked KOs says, Ali, do you actually have, some ranked KOs? Is that actually true? No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. I don't know. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers in for a flex full PPR. Okay. I'm in a 5-5 team. We have Jamar Chase, Fournette. We have Landry, we have Patterson. We have Ayuk, Pacheco, Drake, Pollard. Okay. So if we're playing one, okay. So the quarterback that you're playing this week, theoretically, where are your quarterbacks? Chase, Fournette, and Landry for wait. Okay. This is a trade. Trade Chase, Fournette, and Landry for Patterson, Pacheco, Ayuk. Considering you have Drake, Pollard, D-Hop, Higgins, and Njoku, are we making that trade? At a 5-5 record, I think you should. If you're in a league where you like the top 6 only make it, you're probably going to need a win the next couple weeks here, and I don't know if Fournette, Landry, and Chase do that for you. So I think the trade actually helps. Francisco says Pittman or Swift. I'm playing Pittman. Thank you. Tark says full PPR, pick 1 running back and 1 flex. Drake, Gibson, and Allen Robinson. I play both running backs. Give me Drake and Gibson. Thank you. Seymour Cars says 1 point per reception, Mooney or Foreman. Give me Mooney there. Thank you. Chingon says, should I drop Hurst for Njoku? Yes, I would. I got Hawkinson. Well, yes, you should still make the move, but play Hawkinson this week. Russell says pick 2 in a PPR. Jamaal Williams, Pickens, Pacheco, Foreman. If it's a full PPR between those options, I'm playing Foreman and I'm playing Jamaal Williams. Thank you. Terry R says Gabe, Pacheco, Debo, Kamara, Drake, AJ Brown, Mike Williams. Pick 2. If I'm picking 2 out of that group of players, it's AJ Brown and Alvin Kamara this week. Thank you. Paul Kim says full PPR. Pick 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. We have Jacobs, Kamara, Stevenson, AJ Brown, Higgins. Oh my gosh. Jacobs, Kamara, Stevenson. Okay, so of those 3 running backs, right, we're starting Jacobs and Stevenson easily. As for those wide receivers that you mentioned, we're playing AJ Brown and Higgins easily. And then we're flexing Kamara. Boom, said it, done. Jerry Gonzalez says Pollard or Mike Williams in the flex. I prefer Pollard this week. Thank you. I got Stevenson and Mixon, Debo and Sutton. Okay, so yeah, I'm still playing Pollard in the flex. As for your Sutton and Debo question, I play Sutton over Debo. Thank you. Dom sends in a question, says full PPR. Isaiah McKenzie or Landry? I play Landry over Isaiah McKenzie this week. Jacob Reiser says super flex. Can add one of the following in place of Pickett. Mills, Mack, Jacoby, or Zach Wilson. Let me check if I have any of them higher ranked. According to my rankings right now, I have Kenny Pickett as my number 20. I have Davis Mills ahead of him. So is Davis Mills one of those guys? Davis Mills, Mac Jones, Jacoby. Yeah, I have Davis Mills ahead of Kenny Pickett, but only 2 spots ahead of him. So it's not a significant margin, but that's the only other quarterback that I would play over Kenny Pickett there this week. Thank you. Carson says full PPR, flex DJ Moore, Josh Palmer, Allen Robinson, Kenyan Drake, or Ezekiel Elliott this week. Of the mentioned names, I am playing Kenyan Drake in your flex there, Carson. Thank you. Norseman 056, thank you very much for the generous donation. Appreciate that. Full PPR, pick 2 wide receivers and a flex. Amon-Ra, Mike Williams, Gabe Davis, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Okay. So the 2 wide receivers we're starting without a doubt in my mind are Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God, and Mike Williams. As for the flex option for this week in a full PPR scoring format, it's either between Cordarrelle, Jamaal, or Gabe Davis. Where's my full PPR? Where's Gabe Davis? Gabe Davis is going to be... Where is he in comparison to these guys? Let's go check. Gabe Davis, where the heck is Cordarrelle Patterson on this list? Cordarrelle Patterson... Where are you? Okay, Jamaal. Yeah, Gabe Davis is the flex play then. So we're playing Amon-Ra, we're playing Mike Williams, and we're flexing Gabe Davis. Thank you. Pinoy Pure says, chances of Allen and Hopkins not playing. Allen is far more likely to play. So if you have to decide between the two and you're worried about it, Allen is far more inclined to play today. Thank you. Terry R says, Campbell or Slayton versus Detroit. I'd 1,000% play Campbell this week. Alex Santos says, Cordarrelle Patterson, Gabe Davis, Pittman, or Jamaal Williams. I need 2 to start. 1 running back, 1 flex. Okay. So if we're playing 1 running back, I'm playing Patterson. If we're playing 1 flex, I am playing Gabriel Davis. Thank you. Eric Montoya says, full PPR, Singletary or Garrett Wilson in the flex. I have Garrett Wilson ahead of him. Thank you. Ricardo says, start Terrace Marshall or Curtis Samuel. I have Curtis Samuel slightly behind him. So it's Terrace Marshall. Well, actually, it's a full PPR, right? No, maybe not. It's a half PPR. Half PPR. Play Curtis Samuel there. Appreciate it. Thank you. Justin says Foreman or London. Give me Foreman. Troy Porsche says Kenyan Drake or D'Onta Foreman. Give me Kenyan Drake. Thank you. Cody Shannon says Michael Pittman or Jamaal Williams in the flex standard PPR. I'm probably still playing Jamaal Williams there. Thank you. Okay. I caught up. Goodness gracious. Let's talk about defenses. Yes, let's do that again. Defenses. Here we go. Top 12 defenses for the week. We have number 1, New England Patriots. Number 2, Baltimore Ravens. Number 3, New York Jets. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. Number 5, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 6, San Francisco 49ers. Number 7, Washington Commanders. Number 8, Los Angeles Rams. Number 9, Dallas Cowboys. Number 10, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 11, Denver Broncos. Number 12, New Orleans Saints. Thank you very much. Alrighty. Pittman or Devonta Smith, says Catherine. I would for sure prefer to play Michael Pittman there. Full PPR, Cortland Sutton or Paris Campbell. I would play Paris Campbell there. Alan says standard format, Tony or Keenan Allen. I'd play Tony there. Borch says Foreman or Mike Williams. I'd play Michael Williams there. MVS or Deontay Johnson. Give me MVS there. Hi Andrew, greetings, salutation. Desperate at 4 and 6. I'm stacking Kmet and Fields, and I need help. Half PPR, pick 2 running backs and a flex. Foreman, Kenyan Drake, Jalen Warren, Paris Campbell, and Njoku. If we're playing 2 running backs in a flex, the 2 running backs are for sure Foreman and Drake, and the flex is Paris Campbell there. Thank you very much, Ronald Berry. So we took care of Cody Shannon. AO Royale says, pick 3, Keenan, Pittman, Cooper, Hopkins. I'm playing Keenan, Pittman, and Hopkins, assuming Hopkins is available again, but that's my assumption. I'm assuming he's going to play tomorrow. So, yeah, I'd like to roll Pittman and Hopkins and Keenan. Now, if you're worried about the Hopkins situation, AO, Royale, I mean, you're in a position where you have the ability to make the decision now to just play Amari Cooper. Again, I think that Hopkins is significantly better than Cooper in this scenario, but again, that's assuming he plays. So if you want to play it safe, Cooper is available for you. Otherwise, you have to find a pivoting option for tomorrow in case there's something that happens. I appreciate it. Bruce Main says full PPR, Antonio Gibson, Gabe Davis, Dante. Of the available Bruce, sorry, that's not Bruce. That's Boss. I guess that's how you pronounce it, Boss Main. I play Gabe Davis there out of the available. Thank you. Is it okay to start Trey McBride, says Mark? It's tough, man. It is tough. You can try it, but I mean, I don't know how much opportunity in terms of targets you'll get. I don't know if you'll be as utilized as Zach Ertz was. That's my biggest concern. Hi, Andrew. Pacheco or D'Onta Foreman? D'Onta Foreman's higher in my rankings right now, guys. Why is Gabe Davis higher than Sutton? I have both and I can't decide. I need a game time decision currently. Yeah, so look, here's the current thought process. Gabriel Davis, coming off of a week of 10 targets, very similar to Cortland Sutton. The only difference is Cortland Sutton's probably getting double covered the entire game, seeing number 1 primary coverage, while Gabriel Davis sees the complete opposite of that, while Stephon Diggs is torching on the other side of the field. The amount of target opportunity that I saw Gabriel Davis stack up last week in the red zone is the biggest difference maker, because I think both of them are very similar in terms of yardage. But I think the total upside of a touchdown in terms of that kind of a play and getting to that next level is on Gabriel Davis' side. Mooney or DPJ, please? Mooney. Kadarius Toney or Cordarrelle Patterson in the flex? Depends what you're scoring for, Metas. I'd probably go Toney. Yeah, let's go Toney there in a half PPR. Hey, Andrew, full PPR flex. Olave, Cooper, Komet. Olave, Cooper, or Komet? I think I have Komet over the bunch. I do. I'd play Komet there. Garrett Wilson or Ayuk? I have Ayuk ahead of him. Boyd or Brian Robinson in a full PPR? I have Boyd ahead of him. Let's see here. Jorge Perez, we saw your question. Let's go ahead and address that really quickly. Jorge says, where art thou, Jorge? Jorge says, full PPR, starting Michael Williams, CeeDee Lamb, and we have Rondale Moore for wide receiver position. Okay, Kittle as my tight end. I need a flex for this week. I would have Allen Robinson, Taysom Hill, Palmer, Njoku, Patterson. Play Patterson in the flex. Cordarrelle Patterson absolutely should be your flex play, Jorge. Thank you. Someone asked Olave or Mike Williams. Michael Tang, I'd play Mike Williams again. Let's see here. Do send in a question. Said, is it safer to start Olave over Boyd? I don't believe so. No, I don't believe so. I understand why you would ask that question, but based on the ineptitude of that offense as a whole over the course of the last couple of weeks, it's been tough for me to trust that. So I'd certainly rather play Boyd there. Cody Shannon says D-Hop or James Conner in the flex, standard PPR. Again, tomorrow, if D-Hop is active, I'm playing him over James Conner. But considering you have the opportunity of picking between the two, if D-Hop isn't active, then you just play Conner and you're good to go. But yes, if I had to choose between the two in a PPR format, I would rather play D-Hop. Thank you. Miles Hakeem says, please pick a kicker, Maher, Butker, Dicker. Currently, of the three, I have Brett Maher ranked the highest. Thank you. Hits Money says, flex, PPR, Komet, Keenan Allen, Pittman, or Deontay. Of the bunch, I have Keenan Allen ranked the highest. Thank you. Mark, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's very generous of you. Start Pollard or Patterson? Again, Pollard. Guys, for those of you who are just joining us, rankings that are on screen are up to date. Again, if you can't see it because perhaps you're on mobile, there are rankings in the description of the video that you can go ahead and scroll down to. Because I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat that could be answered very easily on screen. Just boom, Pollard, Patterson. There's a 6 rank difference. Lock in Pollard. We're good to go. Herman Vasquez. Let me go ahead and catch up there. Herman Vasquez. Herman, I don't see your message, my man. If you could do me a favor and send that in, that'd be greatly appreciated. Yeah, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let me go ahead and see here. Anthony sends in a question, says, Brown is out PPR. Olave, Moore, DPJ, Wilson, London. Olave and Moore would be your... Wait, Olave, Moore, Wilson, I'm assuming he's Garrett Wilson, right? So at that point, based on rankings on screen, where art thou, Mr. So we have Olave there. We have... Yeah, so I would be benching Olave there. And I'd be playing Garrett Wilson and Rondale Moore. Thank you. Let's see here. Juwana says, pick 2, Tyler Boyd, Chark, or Hunt. Good question. At this point, I'm playing Tyler Boyd for sure. Do I want to play DJ Chark, though? I don't think I do. I'm playing Hunt probably with him. James Robinson or Jalen Warren? I depends on scoring format. Again, the half PPR is on the screen. In a full PPR, it would be Jalen Warren. Let's see here. Isn't Everett out today? Is he? I don't know. He was questionable with the groin injury. He could be out. I don't know. I haven't seen a notification regarding it. That's why I even had him as my lower ranked tight end, because I didn't expect him to be much of an option anyway today. Can I start Keenan Allen? Yes, you can. Where's Herman? Yeah, where's Herman? Let me find Herman's question. Herman, you there? Herman says, standard league, 1 wide receiver, 2 flex. Who should I pick? We have Mooney, Tony, Mitchell, and Pacheco. Of the available options that you have, I would play Mooney and Tony, obviously, and Pacheco. Mooney, Tony, Pacheco. Thank you. Appreciate it. MVS or Jamaal Williams in a full PPR. Brenton, I would play Jamaal Williams there. After we had Leftgo, where are you at, my man? Leftgo says, Ayuk or Foreman in the flex spot. Leftgo, if you're playing in a full PPR, which I'm assuming you are, we're going to go with Ayuk there. Thank you. Alan Cromer says, full PPR, Foreman or Gabe Davis. Give me Gabe Davis there. Thank you. Jackson Atkins says, play Connor or Olave. Give me Connor this week. Thank you. Keenan Allen or Foreman, says Chris. Give me Keenan Allen. Where do you rank Juwan Johnson? He's at number 17 on the big board. So I'll just give you guys an idea. So my tight ends, besides the guys that are on screen, it goes Juwan Johnson 17, Trey McBride 18, Kyle Granson 19, Jack Stoll. Jack Stoll's for the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 20, Hunter Henry 21, Logan Thomas 22, Isaiah Likely 23, Taysom Hill 24. That's as far as I'll go because I got to get back to answering questions. Anthony says, last question, leave Sutton in the lineup or sub any? What were your other options? No, leave Sutton in the lineup. Leave Sutton in the lineup. You're good to go there. Leave Sutton in the lineup, and then for your follow-up guys, you play, Wilson and Moore. Thank you. Assuming that's Rondell Moore, not DJ Moore, because if it's DJ Moore, I'd rather play Olave. Gordon, Cooks, London, Van Jefferson. I probably in a half PPR just play Gordon there. I have a gut feeling that Tony will be a complete bust this game. I mean, hey, Felipe, if he's a bust, he is. It is what it is. You have a gut feeling about it, then don't play him. Thielen or Pittman Jr.? Give me Pittman Jr. Justin Watson, Gallup, or Dameon Harris. Pick two. Depends on scoring format. I think I'd probably just play Gallup and Dameon Harris. I know Justin Watson plays more snaps, but he doesn't get open. That's the issue. Ayuk or Sutton? Ayuk or Sutton? Yeah, it's probably as it shows on screen, guys. Ayuk is right behind him, yes, but that's probably where I would go. Andrew, real quick, should I play Hopkins or Montgomery? Yeah, if you don't have a pivoting option, Jason, just play Montgomery. It's just safer that way, right? Because if you're gonna have to wait until tomorrow and then hope that Hopkins is ready, just play Montgomery. He's a top 12 running back, right? Why is Goff so high? Because Goff's a good player for fantasy, at least. Let's see here. Flying Low says full PPR: Kenyan Drake, Komet, or Tony. Yeah, I'm playing Tony there. Questionable Murray or Mariota. Again, Leitu. If you don't want to worry about tomorrow, just play Mariota today. He's a great play. That's why I have him ranked where he's currently at. Dameon Harris or Hunt. Yeah, Dameon Harris ahead of Hunt this week. Is Antonio Gibson a good idea with Brian Robinson or Kenyan Drake with no Gus Edwards? I'd rather play Kenyan Drake. Bryson. Full PPR, Mike Williams or Alvin Kamara? Oh, let's see who I have higher ranked here, shall we? Full PPR, I have Mike Williams. Where's Mike Williams? I have Mike Williams at 23, and I have Alvin Kamara ranked at 27. So I go Mike Williams. Hurts or Burrow, 6-point per passing touchdown league. If it's Hurts or Burrow, I play Burrow in a 6-point per passing touchdown format. Hunt or Madison, kind of down bad with ETN. I'd play Hunt this week. Why no Jacoby? Jacoby's on screen. What are you talking about? Jacoby Myers is number 14. Why is Paris Campbell so high? All right, here we go. I'm going to give you guys the monologue for Paris Campbell. Last 3 consecutive games with Matt Ryan in a half PPR, he's scored 15 fantasy points minimum in all 3 games. He's also scored a touchdown in all 3 of those consecutive games. In the 103 last passing attempts that Matthew Ryan has made in this offense, he has had himself 74 of those 103 total completions that he has made of 10 yards or closer to the line of scrimmage. All of these opportunities that are going in the direction of Paris Campbell continue to lend him more opportunities in this given game. Also, the number 1 slot cornerback of the Eagles, Avonte Maddox, he is out. That means that the backup is playing, and he has not played well at all this season in terms of coverage. Paris Campbell's an automatic play in that regard. Let's see here. Cortland Sutton. And, of course, there are multiple starting offensive linemen. If I'm not mistaken, the right tackle and the left tackle, both starters for this offensive line for the Colts are out this week. What does that mean? Matt Ryan's getting the ball out of his hands even faster because otherwise he's going to be put on his ass the entire game. Appreciate it. Is there anything else I'm missing? Is there anything nothing? Okay, cool. Komet or Olave in the flex? I have Komet higher. I'm not even joking. I do. Cortland Sutton or Brandon Ayuk have moved up slightly earlier this morning. Have moved up. Yes, they moved up slightly. Marquise Hollywood-Brown disappeared. That's what happened. Thank you. All right, guys. It's 10:01. I do appreciate y'all coming through. I do appreciate y'all sending in donations to support the channel, keep the lights on. If I was able to answer your question via proxy of somebody else's question, I appreciate that. If I wasn't able to answer your question, my apologies. Again, there's one of me, and you guys just saw it. I mean, I started the stream at 7:50. We went 2 hours and 11 minutes straight of answering questions. Didn't stop. So, again, maybe we got to start doing 3-hour streams in the future weeks, but for as of right now, I do appreciate y'all. If you guys have not yet already, again, There's a link down in the description if you want Patreon rankings. There's also a link down in the description for Prize Picks for this upcoming, if you want to go ahead and check out Prize Picks this upcoming weekend, or specifically today. A couple of picks that I've made, Dalton Schultz, more on his receiving yards. Paris Campbell, more on his receiving yards. Brian Robinson, more on his rushing yards. I'm hoping that one's going to hit for me. If you guys haven't checked them out, you can use promo code Andrew today. When you sign up, you'll be given a first-time deposit match that is immediately doubled up to $100. Check that out today. Outside of that, that's going to cover it for me today. Tomorrow is going to be waiver wires. Monday is going to be the easy day. Tuesday, 2 videos. Running back rankings, and probably, you know what? Let me think about this. How do I want to do this? Let me think about this. I'm probably going to have a lot of videos posted, probably 4 videos on Tuesday and Wednesday combined. We'll see how it goes. But either way, because Thursday, we're going to have a live stream in the morning prior to the Thursday Turkey Day games. So do not forget, we're going to have a live stream on Thursday morning. We'll probably also have a Thursday night live stream, but we'll see where we get there. But as of right now, do not forget, we're going to have multiple videos coming out quickly. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet already. And that's going to be it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I do appreciate y'all. R009 says, I think I messed up. I traded Rhamondre and Campbell for Debo and George Pickens. Yeah, that's definitely a mess up. How bad is it? Listen, dude. I don't have to tell you. That's, listen, dude. James Conner or Ayuk in a full PPR? Let's check here, shall we? I have James Conner. Let's see here. Control F, Conner. James Conner's 34. Ayuk is currently... Where's Ayuk on this list? Where's Ayuk? Hello? That's why. James Conner's number 34 in a full PPR. Ayuk's 35. They're back to back. I'll take James. So yeah, that Rhamondre Campbell trade, whew, that's tough, man. Let me go ahead. Let me see. Is any of my other lineups that I haven't set here? I mean, I'm pretty sure I set every single lineup. I took care of all that last night. Is there anything that had Marquise Hollywood Brown going in there and I can replace that? I think we're fine. All right, guys. I do appreciate y'all's time. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Until then, I'll see you guys. I'm going to cue the music and I'm going to disappear. And I'm going to go watch football for 8 straight hours of commercial-free Red Zone. Thank you. Good night.